Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Fast Travel Lounge. You're listening to episode 37. My name is Patrick, and I'm on a shit microphone, but I'm joined by Saif, Steve, and Josh. Say hi, everyone.
Good evening.
Higgledy-piggledy.
Hi, Patrick on a shit microphone.
And lovely listeners out there might be wondering, but Patrick, you sounded so good every other week. Why are you on a shit microphone this week? Well, dear listener, it's because I am not at my house right now, so I don't have access to my nice mic. I have...
Oh no, he's in my house! No,
Yeah, I was
look
going to
out!
say, whose random house are you in?
Well, judging by the audio quality, I did agree with Steven.
Yeah, actually, in hindsight, I would as well, but unfortunately, not even I am brave enough to go anywhere near that man's house and his cursed rice cooker. No, instead, I'm at my parents' house, speaking on a, HyperX Cloud something gaming headset from back when, really, it was only about two years ago, so, but anyway, so apologies for the audio quality of this episode.
So while you're there in your parents' house, can you go into your mum's wallet and pull out the credit card and read out the first number, the 16 numbers on the front, and then the 3 digits on the back?
16? What? Is my credit card wrong? I've only got
It's
12.
No, I'm including the expiry dates. Oh, that makes it 18 then. Never mind. Send me a picture of your mum's credit card.
Front and back, or just the front?
You know what surprised me?
Actually, wait, no, it is 16, I think. It is 16. You were correct.
I'm always correct. Anyway, sorry to cut you off there, Pat.
Right, I guess we gotta do the obligatory. Who went to Krispy Kreme this week? I didn't.
Nada. We're
Negative.
doing very bad on our sponsorship for the past couple of months.
Look, if they sponsor me
Well,
to get some Krispy Kreme, maybe I get some freaking Krispy
yeah.
Kreme.
You could have just said episodes rather than months. That makes it seem way worse than it is. Don't worry, Krispy Kreme, deliverables are still coming. Just you wait. Just hold on a bit longer.
We just need you to clear the check. I keep going to cash the check in, and it keeps bouncing. So
We noticed you sponsored Britney Spears. Why not us?
cowards.
True. Speaking of Samsung technology that normally underpins why we get Krispy Kreme, I've been getting served ads for the Fold and Flip 4.
Me too.
Yes, Steve.
Not gonna lie,
If one more
I'm
person
tempted.
sends that,
You're
if one more
tempted
person
after
sends
all the
sends
issues
me that-
all of us had?
No, what? No, not about... Yeah, no, I expect the phone to die in 2 months. I just mean as an excuse to get Krispy Kreme when I have to get it repaired.
Oh, yeah, based.
You know, you can get Krispy Kreme without having a tech problem. You know that, right?
I don't know, my tech's just been so good, other than the quality of this headset, that I haven't needed the sweet embrace of Krispy Kreme donuts.
Just a regular embrace.
Actually, I'll take any embrace at this point. Anyway, might as well go into Around the Lounge for
Rats,
this
I should
week.
have said an Embracer group joke. Rats, never mind.
There's
Embrace
still
a group.
time. Do you want to give it a go?
Like the Embracer group, isn't that someone that's taking over a bunch of never mind. I thought you guys would laugh, but I don't really know what I'm talking about.
We'll just put in like the Among Us music clip and call it a day, shall we?
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. It's Sassy Bucker.
God, this
Cool,
has
well,
been 4
that
minutes of curse content.
Now that I've vomited into my mouth a little, let's go into Around the Lounge for this week. Saif, you've been oddly quiet considering the amount of shit that's been thrown back and forth in the first 4 minutes. What have you been up to?
I watched the first 10 episodes of Ninja Sentai Kakuranger.
I saw you also wrote 10 pages of notes.
Yes, an entire page for each episode. I'm sorry I was so quiet, Patrick. I'm just trying to process all of the shit that's being flung around this chat right now.
It's understandable, really. Thank you for your service and the fact that you're going to be the only person that has to listen to this twice.
Truly the luckiest man in the world.
I don't mean that. I do go back and listen to the episodes, but it is just funny. Hi, future Seth. hope the sanity's treating you well. Steve, what have you been up to this week?
I finally finished Mass Effect 3, so
Hey.
that's been. So now
I
I've just got
can't
a
wait to
couple of
hear about the
achievements to
color
get.
ending you got.
Yeah, I was going to say time to hype up the ending. What was your favorite color?
Green.
Yeah, damn
you
right
got
it was
green.
green.
Yeah,
You picked pistachio? Interesting.
yeah, mint chocolate, I reckon.
Is it
Not as good as
unironically
just
based off
regular
ice cream?
chocolate, to be honest.
No.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah,
What was that, Josh?
I asked if it was unironically based off ice cream. Thank God it isn't.
Yeah,
it wouldn't put it past me for
to
past
defeat
the
a race
victory.
of to defeat a race of sentient machines wiping out the galaxy. You give them a lick of mental ice cream, and they can't compute how good it is, and they all die. That's exactly what happened.
It's just a Family Guy cutaway.
I thought it was the initial source material for Pepsi's "Let's End Racism with a Pepsi" ad, where we were able to end galactic extermination with an ice cream.
The actual end color is what color the Pepsi can is that Kylie Jenner is handing to Aretha.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, we're going straight to hell. Yeah.
Really continuing the cursed content, huh?
We're going to hell. Who greenlight? They would have gone through so many people and focus groups and test cases to release that fucking ad.
Maybe at some point
and
it
no
just got
stage.
to a point where people thought it would be funny if they just let it through.
Well, no, I feel like it's actually like a psychology thing, right? Because let's say you're the 19th person in that chain before it gets greenlit. If you look at that and 18 people before you have all greenlit it, and you go, this seems like very questionable content that we shouldn't be releasing, but 18 people have greenlit it before me, so they must all think it's okay. I will greenlight it as well.
I don't think it's that. I think it's literally like, if you look at it and go, hey, I bet this will fucking generate people talking about our product. Like, that's just fucking marketing, baby.
Finally, we get the brand recognition that Pepsi deserves, alongside racism.
I mean, like, they're
just
almost
think-
too big to fail. Like, they'll just be like, sorry, we apologize. But it would generate massive headlines and free advertising. So, you know?
Coke gets Christmas, Pepsi gets racism, right?
Well, I mean,
just think
Coke
when it
also
hits-
gets that. Yeah, go on, Saif. Go on.
I just think when it hits that 19th person, they just give up and they're like, okay, if this is what all the rich people want, I'm just going to say yes because I think the downfall is going to be extremely funny.
Yeah, and that's probably that's definitely the good ending approach. But no, Coke retaliated. They saw that Pepsi wanted to claim racism, and they're like, you know what? They can have it. We'll just claim esports. Remember that ad, that sweet follow up where I'm pretty sure it was trying to be Dota rather than League of Legends, but a MOBA, and then the guy drinks a Pepsi and then realizes actually,
Oh god, I do
Our
remember
opponents-
that.
our opponents are just like us. Let's put down our weapons and be friends.
There was like this
I
whole
don't
World of
remember.
Warcraft bit about it as well, or like just Warcraft. It's
Make
like
love,
the
not
orcs,
Warcraft.
the orcs and the humans drink a Coke together to stop the race wars.
Too bad
I
nothing
think
can
I've
stop
never
the
heard
Cola
that.
Wars.
Meanwhile, G
Crazy.
Fuel. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, Josh, what have you been up to this week?
I can talk about Horizon Zero Dawn, not the new one. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I spent a lot of time playing that. That was a good game.
Wow. Okay, that was weirdly fast around the lounge.
What did you
and
get up to,
have-
What
Patrick?
have you been up to, Patrick?
Oh,
Oh,
well,
thanks for
I mean-
mimicking me, Stephen.
Hey Patrick, what have
thanks
you
for
What's
been
happened
up
of the
to?
week?
Hey Patrick, what have you been up to? Sorry, I just wanted to fit in. I competed in the 48 Hour Film Festival over the weekend, which is partially why I am at my parents'. That was really fun, but it meant that I
Were you
basically
filming your
had
parents'
no-
credit card?
I was actually. It was 5 minutes of that. It was just from different angles, real flashy, real nice. Some crisp
The
angles.
off-white coloring of it, the bold font.
The tasteful thickness of a plastic card.
Oh my god, it's even got a watermark.
And
Oh, it's so niche if no one gets it.
What do you mean if no one gets it? Everyone
That's
gets
not a
it.
niche reference at all.
It's fucking niche. It's a
Comment-
very
no,
old
comment-
movie at this
Absolutely
point.
not.
Comment down below if you didn't get it. And comment down below mocking the people that didn't get it if you did get it. There
God,
we
I
go.
hope
Bases
everyone got
covered.
it.
But yeah, so that was me. So still down in Wellington, which means that I have none of my sweet gaming equipment with me. Have a DS. I did a
DS,
Monster
like
Hunter
a-
Generations hunt.
Not
Like
even a
DS,
3DS
like
will
not
play
a
Omega
3DS,
Ruby
like
and Alpha
DS.
Sapphire.
No, it's a 3D. It's what we in the biz call it's a 3DS, but like we on the street just call it a DS. You know?
Do we?
Almost up to Generations Ultimate.
Yeah, slowly. Anyway,
what you should have
that's
done,
what I've
Patrick, is competed remotely as an offshore resource, and then you could have stayed close to your gaming equipment.
So that would have been the smart thing to do. And actually, so that's what I did last year, but it was because COVID-19 happened.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
I've got some meds for you. That'd be pretty sick. You ever heard of horse dewormers?
No, I didn't get COVID, but Auckland was in a snap lockdown for 8 months.
Snap even 8 months.
It was fucked.
Just a quickie.
Anyway, can't discuss things that make people sad. That's what we're going to talk about. Searching. Mass Effect 3. Shit, that still makes people sad.
Alright.
No,
You know what
first
I do
of all,
album of the week?
yeah, we're going to do album of the week. See, I preempted it. I just wanted to get the still being sad joke. Josh, the album of the week that totally isn't sponsored by Ford Truck Month. What is it?
You're fucking.
What happened to Ford Truck Month?
Ford Truck Month has ended. Okay, actually no. Well, it says it's still the month. Yeah. So I've completely lost all my train of thought now. The album is.
Because you need a Ford car. That's why. That'll get you right into where you need to go.
Sounds like you need a Ford Focus.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
Damn.
Can't wait for when we get to the end of this. It'll be a Ford Fiesta.
Oh, this is good. This is good content.
This is not good content.
Man, I'm riding high right now, nearly as high as a Ford Falcon.
Oh, it was weak.
I'm sorry,
put
I
all
didn't
these
really
shitty-
heard it.
put all these shitty takes together and you get a Ford Fusion.
They didn't even
Nah,
release
I
in
thought
Australia.
I
I
killed
think,
it.
the Fusion.
Seth. Far. Thank you for taking that from me.
Once
Yo,
we put Saif on trial for the murder he just committed, we get to Ford escort him to jail.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
we can stop it there now.
You know, I can just edit it so that it stays at Steve killing the joke and not me.
We're going to keep saying this throughout the podcast.
It's all fun and games until someone tries to make a fucking Commodore reference, then we shoot them.
What's wrong with the
Understandable.
Commodore? Why would you make a reference about that?
I don't know, man.
taking the
You
Lord's
had a
name
really
in
good
vain.
one that you had like the aerial as a coat hanger in the shape of Australia.
Good. It wasn't the shape of Australia. Being
That is the
dramatic.
most bogan thing I've ever heard of.
I am being dramatic, but you did have a coat hanger as an aerial.
Yeah, I needed the radio. The antenna fell out. What do you want me to do? Not listen to silence. No, thank you.
I don't know, that sounds Ford cos worth it to me.
All right, let's forward transit to the next.
Hey!
Segue.
Anyway, so album of the
That was a
week.
good one.
I'm out-
Actually,
I'm out of
that's
it.
one.
I'm out of Ford vehicles.
I got plenty more, but we'll see.
I can't think of a
Album
good
of the
reference to
week,
continue. Album of the week. Upon actually reading this, I realized it's not technically an album; it's a mixtape. But it is Clouds,
your
the
mixtape?
mixtape by NF. Yes. No, I wish I was NF. I'd be $5 million richer. Yeah. So it is Clouds, which came out. Was it last year at this point? Actually. Hey, let me double check
It
that.
was 2021.
It was 2021. It must have been late
Yeah.
last year. Yeah, so Clouds is a mixtape released by NF. It is a very, very good mixtape. I highly recommend going to listen to it if you like rap or Christian music. It's a weird mix. Don't get me started.
Or if you're a Ford F-150 Raptor fan.
Oh, wow. Jesus.
I know we don't have cameras on. I've got the biggest grin on my face right now.
I'm too ashamed to say that I'm too ashamed, but not ashamed enough to not say it. That went right over my head.
God damn. Right.
Well, we can get you up to speed in a Ford Velociraptor.
All right, you've killed it. All right, Pat.
Can anyone stop this man?
Velociraptor is in the car. You could have gone like, we can get you up to speed if you ride a Ford Mustang or something, like, you know. Right. So anyway, the mixtape, very, very good. 11 songs. Every single one of them is excellent. I don't know what to say specifically about this because there's not too much
What
about
genre
this
is
other
it?
than it being a mixtape. It's
I've
hip-hop,
never heard of
rap.
this.
Yeah, it's technically also Christian music, which is somewhat wild to me.
Like Breaking
but-
Benjamin is a Christian band. Yeah.
Yeah, Breaking Benjamin is a Christian band.
exactly.
Bring With Horizon was also classified as Christian for a while
Yeah.
there.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Which one of those
Yeah.
was confusing you, Seth?
Both.
Breaking Benjamin was in Halo, which is a game based around religion. So, like, I don't know.
He's not wrong. Seen a lot
Clearly,
of
Christian music.
seen a lot of AMVs to Breaking Benjamin, which is probably
Hmm.
very reminiscent of the time. But anyway, NF,
yeah.
sorry.
So NF, his real name is actually Nathan. I think it's pronounced Furstein, and that's where he got NF from. He began recording music on a karaoke machine, which is interesting. And his first EP was released via Capital Christian Music Group, which was the first ever hip hop artist they signed to the label. It debuted at number 12 on the Billboard's Top Christian charts, which is wild, honestly. And yeah, since then onwards, he's been doing his own stuff underneath his own label, which is NF Real Music. He's a massive, massive artist at this point, but like super good.
Probably needs to lay off the Krispy Kremes then.
God damn it.
That was a good one, I reckon.
Sneaking them in.
That's honestly pretty much all I have to say about it. I know Patrick really liked it. Like when I listened to this, I was like, this is incredible. And linked it to Patrick, and Patrick really liked it as well.
True.
I don't know if Saif might have heard songs while we've been playing it in Discord, but probably not.
I wasn't around in Discord the last couple of weeks.
Okay, fair enough.
And I just have music bots muted.
Wow. So social.
They always cover up everyone else's talking. It's never at a good
You
volume.
just turn it down. Yeah, it features some pretty big artists like Hopson, also hip hop, Tech9, also hip hop. And then there's also a remix of the original song on there as well for Clouds, which is the title song. Don't really have too much more to say about it. Patrick, did you have anything you want to say?
I think so I knew some NF singles before this. The one that he got super big off of what was it? Let Me Down? Let You Down, I think.
Let You Down was massive.
Yeah. knew that one, but
there was another song that was massive for him as well.
I think Let You Down was the one that like really blew up.
That's the one that's well over 1 billion listens on just Spotify. So
yeah, so I knew that one, but this was the first because I didn't realize that was NF, and I didn't really know much about NF at the time, and so this was the first like album / well, let's call it an album. First album that I listened through of NF, and then got me into NF music. So yeah, really cool. Highlights the storytelling and story. Damn.
Yeah, that's excellent. For context, the story is basically he I don't know if it's actually true or not, actually thinking about this, but the story behind it is that he basically has a housemate, and their housemate's boyfriend's kind of a deadbeat, and he goes out to go get fuel, and there's a robbery at a liquor store, or a 7-Eleven? I think it might have been a 7-Eleven. It's somewhere that sells snacks, a gas station, yeah. So he goes out there. There's a robbery there. He basically accidentally gets involved because he knocked over some shit and tackles a guy with a gun, and cashier shoots another guy, and this other guy runs in that was supposed to be this guy's getaway ride, and it's the housemate. And it's just like really powerful. Very, very good storytelling throughout the song.
Does it have a good music video to match?
I don't think there's a music video for Story.
There is a music video.
Is there? Oh, there wasn't when I first listened to it. I have to watch that.
If it's not as good as the music video for Waking the Demon by Bullet Point Valentine, I don't want to hear it.
It's a fucking excellent song.
Well, the song is excellent, but the music video is basically just a visual of what the song is about. So
yeah, it's really good.
Well, I mean, okay, but I guess it
problem,
depends.
buddy?
Well, it's just you have this weird bar for what you think a good music video will be, because the music video is very true to the music. So in that sense, it's probably good. But
well, what's it supposed to be then? You're trying to say I can't keep up with like two storylines? Like it's the kind of the music video ending racism and the music talking about Jesus or something. I don't know. Man, that was a really bad
That's-
analogy, but I stand by it.
that was a very weird. Like, I like that Christians are mutually exclusive from people trying to end racism. That's a fun take.
Oh, I know, I've been
Is
cancelled.
it incorrect? I don't know.
All I'm saying is, story listening to the music of story is almost more powerful than watching the video of story. That's all I'll say. But there's a whole bunch of stuff on there that's just really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have too much more to say.
Standouts for me are probably Paid My Dues and Clouds itself, the title track, and obviously Story. Honestly, there is not a bad song on this entire mixtape, though. Not a
Yeah.
single one.
My standouts would be Trust, Story, and That's a Joke.
Trust I'm a bit half-half on. I really like NF's part, but Tech 9, I'm just...
Yeah,
it's one of those
exactly.
artists where I'm like, I can't
Yeah.
listen to you anymore.
That's definitely true, but I really like what NF does with that enough for it to still be a standout for me.
Yeah, I agree. Cool. Anyway, that's Ford's... What was it? Ford Truck Month album of the week?
Well, the totally not sponsored by Ford Truck Month Josh album of the week. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you. I'll have one more brain aneurysm today.
Speaking of brain aneurysms, Mass Effect 3.
All right, yeah.
Hey, something I can shit on.
Whoa,
Yeah, have you played it?
whoa. Hold. We'll see.
He hasn't played it. You can't shit on something you haven't played. Is that the rule?
No, I
Man,
can,
you went
I
into
can
your
look at
section,
something
buddy.
and shit on it.
Okay, Amber Heard.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Josh has constantly shit on the
Ooh.
Final Fantasy 16 takes I've had, and he hasn't played it.
What?
No one's
the,
played
whole,
it.
the whole game, no one's played it yet. It's not out.
The playtesters
Is the
have.
Final Fantasy 16 in the room with us now?
Yes,
I've never seen Saif and Final Fantasy 16 in the same room.
you are correct.
Because you've never seen Steph in a toilet.
Ah,
You are incorrect there.
Also,
Jesus, that was a good one. Wow.
You telling me you
Man.
don't watch the video films I put up of me pooping?
Oh, God.
Not in the group
no.
chats?
not only do we have the implication that Christians are actively against racism, but Seth may or may not be Amber Herding Final Fantasy 16. This is a real... Man, 37's off to a banger of an episode.
Next album of the week is Mr. Henke's various songs.
How do you know how do you know it's shit if it's not out yet? I could be shit in gold.
That's still shit, but
It's still shit, yeah.
I mean, generally there is gold. Well, there can be gold in your shit.
you digging? Okay, anyway. Topic change. Mass Effect 3.
It's not really a topic change, it's still shit.
Speaking
not-
of
you haven't
digging
played
your
it,
gold through
really?
shit.
I wasn't the one that said it this time, Stephen.
It's too easy.
And I'm pretty sure that Josh has played this one.
I haven't actually
I-
played this one.
I unironically really like parts of Mass Effect 3, so we'll see. But anyway, tell us about your experience with it, Steve.
Yeah, so like, I finally finished it. This takes my Mass Effect Legendary Edition to a close, but I've still got to do some achievements. So I'll achievement hunt there. But no, I really like Mass Effect 3. It's
I have a quick question for you before you start. Is this the first
Haven't-
time you've completed Mass Effect 3? Or the way
no,
you're saying
this
it?
is no. It's probably tie number 3 or 4.
Okay,
But it's
okay.
probably because I haven't played them consecutively ever. Like I played Mass Effect 1, waited 2 years, played Mass Effect 2, waited 2 years, played Mass Effect 3, and I did weird sort of playthroughs at different sort of times, never sort of all in once like what I've done now.
Okay.
So it's really good. I really like it.
Did you have the extended cut when, like, is this the first time you've gone through the extended cut as well?
Yes, yeah. So I think I got Mass Effect 3 like 2 weeks after it released, like originally. So like all that shit was going on, then I finished it. I'm like, oh, like the ending wasn't really that satisfying, but I don't know what they mean. But it turns out I was playing with the extended cut. But well, okay, I'll talk about the ending a bit later. So essentially, I don't even know where to start. So essentially, my big problems with the game are that it, as a third-person shooter, it tries to do a little bit too much, I think. Like, it tries to give you so many different weapons that you just end up defaulting to your favorite, like, handful, because it does cost a lot of money to upgrade them. And maybe because I'm playing on Insanity, it's a bit unfair of me to say this, but if I didn't have an upgraded weapon they were like I'd be literally making myself an uphill battle, and it'd be really hard to the point where sometimes it's like, okay, I know if I had my old gun, it would be really good, but because I picked up this.
I know that you mentioned class the last time that you, because this is almost the part 2 of the Mass Effect 3 discussion from a few episodes ago, but just remind everyone what class you were playing.
I was Vanguard.
Hey, yeah, okay.
So
in which
yeah,
case,
it's
using a weapon at all, ooh, cringe move, bro.
yes, but you sort of have to use weapons,
Like, just like,
they've got
hey,
shields,
and
like,
just dig into him immediately.
I knew exactly what you were going to say as well. Well, maybe because I was playing on Insanity, like it's especially with enemies that have shields up, because biotic abilities don't hurt, or don't really affect enemies with shields. So it's like, well, I've got to have something. So I usually just had like an assault rifle and a shotgun just in case, just so I could still get.
Okay, yeah, that's a loadout.
Pew pew pew. But for all the weapons I'd bring, I'd put ultralight materials on them, so they'd be even lighter. And so that probably links into, because you can bring a maximum of 5 weapons of each different class. Like you can pick one assault rifle, one sniper
Please
rifle,
tell me
one
you didn't
shotgun.
Please tell me you weren't playing Insanity Vanguard with 5 weapons.
No, you wouldn't be able to do anything. Like you might as well just play soldier at that point. But for each weapons have like weight, and the more weighted you are, the longer it takes your powers to recharge. So if you're like at the maximum weight limit, it doesn't affect like movement or anything. It's your powers take, I think it's 200% longer to charge.
Yeah, it's 200% less or 200% more depending on the weight.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, and I was roughly between probably an extra probably 90 to about 30%, depending on what happens. Like as in, like my powers would recharge faster, and that sort of worked because there were a couple of missions, especially at the start, where I was like, oh yeah, I don't need to use powers. Powers are shit. I just use a sniper rifle. And it's like, okay, I've used 1 power. Okay, well, sort of like I'm sitting in cover for a minute waiting for that to recharge. And Insanity as well, the AI is very smart. Like, not, well, actually, no, it is smart. It's always trying to flank you. It's throwing like 3 grenades at you to get you to move. And it's like, hey, you're out of cover. Pew, 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 pew. Which is like, it's pretty good. There are a couple of frustrations, especially when it comes to like Reaper enemies, like those Banshee things, because they just keep literally pressing you. So you always have to be moving. But because you're out of cover, you get killed. But because those things have so much shields and health, it takes them fucking forever to die. And if they get too close to you, they literally one-shot impale you in the chest. And it's like, okay, I hate this game. But the auto-saving's pretty good. Literally every encounter that you finish, it auto-save. So I never really felt like as if I was missing a lot of time. But I think having such a huge amount, like a huge pool of weapons, gives the game a very big disservice. Like having, I don't know, maybe just the play style I had, but I definitely defaulted to like a rotation of 2 or 3 assault rifles, depending on what I was feeling like. Then you'd pick up a new one and be like, okay, this one fires a bit faster, a bit slower, or shoots grenades instead, and that's sort of it. You've got your squad mates that you can sort of give orders to, and they can use their abilities, which is pretty good. You can use one enemy to sort of overload their shields, and it's like, okay, cool, they've got no more shields. Pew, 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 and that's it, they're done. And that's probably, the more you interact with your crew members, you can get their powers and abilities as well, which I thought that was pretty cool. Like I never really explored that too much because I didn't really need it, but it's sort of good. You can be able to sort of change your play style depending on what you're feeling at. And you can always sort of respec all of your points that you're putting into all your powers and abilities. Like for, I think it's only like 5,000 credits, which is not very much at all. So that was pretty cool. But I definitely, towards the end of the game, I obviously hit the max level cap because doing pretty much all the missions, plus all the DLC, plus bringing over a character from a previous game gives you a bit more levels. I definitely hit the level cap towards the end of the game, like probably about 3/4 in, I reckon. But I didn't have enough points to max out all of my abilities, and that frustrated me to no end. Like it was just a weird OCD thing, knowing that I think it was like 6 out of my 7 abilities were maxed out, and the other one was only like half maxed out. Not that I really used.
Definitely can't max all of them out.
Yeah, but it's just strange, and Yeah, I don't know. It was a weird OCD thing. I kept like checking, like, okay, have I leveled up? It's like, oh, I haven't leveled up for like a couple missions now. But yeah, okay. So the DLCs are pretty good. I really like them. They do explore different things. Like you've got the Omega DLC, which is sort of where you're with a character from Mass Effect 2 and you're taking back the space station Omega, and you've got like a different crewmate to help you out. There's Leviathan, which is sort of interact with the creator of the Reapers to be like, oh yeah, that's right. You would have had a creator as well, and that's sort of interesting. And then there's the Prothean DLC. We actually get to interact with the Prothean, which is this sort of advanced race that pretty much existed before civilization as we know it. And dealing with Javik is really cool, and he's always been like, hey, in my cycle it was different. I was like, yeah, your cycle died out. All the best, big fella. Good luck, better luck this time.
Actually just old racist boomer.
Literally, yeah. And he's like, back in my day, humans were just monkeys. And I'm like, cool, man, I'm holding a gun now. Like, back in the freezer, what do you want?
Jesus.
Yeah, he is really
It doesn't sound
cool
like much has changed since humans discovered space travel in Mass Effect then.
No, not really.
If the only achievement you can accomplish is holding a gun still.
Well, you got like biotic abilities, but that's not that. Yeah, but my favorite DLC is it's called the Citadel DLC. Citadel DLC. Try saying that 3 times fast. And essentially, what that is you're pretty much got mandatory shore leave. It's like, hey, I know Earth is being taken over by the Reapers, but hey, give yourself a break and hang out with your buddies. And there's a whole, of course, there's a subplot of one of your clones running around and he's trying to kill you, and you're like, oh fuck, well, you got to deal with this. And then when you finally deal with that, you can actually have a party and you can invite all your friends and your squad mates from
all the ones that are alive.
Well, all of them would be alive, wouldn't they?
Well,
except for Morden.
You can kill quite a few of them.
Yeah, you can kill almost all of them. But yeah, in all my playthrough, I made sure that they all stayed alive. So the only one that died was Morden, and that's because he was trying to kill the genophage and being a nice guy. But oh well, better luck next time, big fella. But yeah,
try ending in a galactic extermination on your own terms next time, pal.
The Krogan deserved it. There, I said it.
Wow.
Jesus.
I said
if only the Solarians and Krogans had just shared a Pepsi, am I right?
I knew you were going to say it, because if you didn't say it in that sentence, I was going to.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Citadel DLC, pretty much you have like a party and you're talking to your friends, and it sort of, I don't want to say gives closure, but it like sort of reminds you that the squad mates you're sort of interacting with have like personalities of their own, and it's sort of really good. And I really enjoyed that DLC. I think it's probably one of my favorite DLCs of all time, to be honest.
I'd contend it probably is as well. It's really fun.
But the question on everybody's mind, the ending. So essentially, the ending does come down to you've got 1 of 3 choices, and whatever choice you make, it's essentially
1 of 4.
Oh, 1 and 4. Okay, yep, you're right. You can choose to do nothing, and you just doom the entire galaxy.
Oh well, 1 and 5 then.
What's the 4th one? Hey,
execute the Star Child.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much the same one.
Are you advocating for killing children, Patrick?
Well, all I'm saying is if that child doesn't have a Pepsi near its hand, I can't be held responsible for what happens.
Anyway.
Yeah, that silence has gone on for a little bit too long.
I chuckled, but I don't think it picked up on my microphone.
Initially in the game, there are. I don't actually realize doing nothing. I guess doing nothing is its own ending as well. But in the base game, there's only the 3 endings. But then with the extended cut, I think it was the extended cut, one of the DLCs, they added being able to execute the Star Child, which is basically just the red ending, but a different way there.
So, we keep referring to it as like colored endings, because essentially you've got a choice to either combine organic and synthetic life together to make the synthesis ending, which is pretty much a weird blender baby.
Which is also known as like the best ending canonically.
Yep, and that's the green ending, which is the one that I chose, because why else would you choose a different one?
True.
You've got the red ending, which is the destroy ending, which pretty much destroys all machines, like whether sentient or not sentient in the galaxy, which is the red ending. You've got the blue ending, and I'm completely
blue
spacing
ending,
on
which is control.
Oh, yeah, and blue ending control, which means you get to control the Reapers and use them as you see fit, which is essentially
Dictatorship.
Is it the?
Yeah.
Look, are they machines that do they have free will?
If they're
Makes you really think,
sentient,
doesn't
then
it?
yes.
How can a machine be sentient? Think about it. All right. Anyway, so I personally think like there could have been no good ending. Like, sorry, as in a way of conveying the ending. There is no. They've backed themselves into such a story and the journey, and with your squad mates, and half of it is, well, not like it's 3/4 of it is like trying to solve this problem, and the solution to the problem is never going to be as good as the problem itself and trying to overcome it. So I do not think there's anything they could have done to have made the ending like satisfying or good. But
I think they could have varied it.
yeah, they definitely didn't need to do, hey, you can't understand how this works, but it does. Here's the I win button, press it.
After 150 hours of gameplay, that's it. Good luck. I don't recall saying good luck.
Well,
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
The problem I have is that they almost did too much with Mass Effect 2 in that the ending for Mass Effect 2, I don't know if you guys have looked into much about like mechanically how that works, but there is so much like conditional and math, and like there actually is like math and like random chance on the suicide mission in Mass Effect 2, and it takes in everything that you've done throughout the game, and then it takes in stuff like where the ship's upgraded to, where your squad mates are upgraded to, all this other stuff, and then it will always give you the same almost always give you the same outcome. I think it might actually be always the same outcome based on like the state of your game save, basically. So if you have killed one squad mate, that doesn't just affect like one piece of the ending. Them not being there can affect multiple parts of the suicide mission. And so you get these almost sort of butterfly effects where there's like a priority list of if this person is still alive and this event happens, they are the first one to die. But then if that person's no longer the first priority person to die, then a second person will die in their place, and it just sort of cascades down that way. The problem I have with the third one is that they took all of that complexity and was just like, all right, so what's your favorite color?
Mass Effect 2 does there's so many different interplaying parts, and that can change depending on your choices, both before the mission and during the mission. And all then number 3 is like, hey, what do you think? You have 3 options. Thoughts?
Mass Effect 3 has that little paper thing at middle school, which has all the like colors and numbers inside that you do the little fortune teller. You know the one?
It's really strange that I was going to make a Chatterbox reference as well, but you've done it first. Yeah,
I don't think we ever called them Chatterboxes, but yeah, it sounds like the same thing. But yeah, and it's annoying because like I actually quite enjoyed the end. Like for me, the problem with the ending was that it wasn't varied. Like I got the synthesis ending when I first played through the game, and that was pretty soon after it came out. So I was on the fringes of hearing all the issues that people had with the ending, but I was sort of separate to it. So I finished the game, and I was like, I thought that ended it rather well. I got the canonically good ending. I'm really interested to see what the other endings were like. So I went back and just chose a different one and went, oh, it's the same.
Yeah, I did exactly the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because literally the only thing I knew about like the ending of Mass Effect 3 was like I didn't even know what the choices were. It was literally just, hey, it's the exact same cutscene but a different color.
Yeah. That to me throws it off. It could have literally just been a different cinematic, and it would have been fine.
And like when we say it's the same cinematic, it's the exact same cinematic, except for like a color hue. Yeah. Like we're not like being dramatic about it. We're not. Oh, it's the same thing pretty much. No, it's literally like
literally just holding up a piece of cellophane and watching the cutscene again.
Yeah, and then there's like a cutscene after it that explains it a bit, that it sort of gives a bit more of a slideshow sort of thing.
So
A little bit
there
of what
is
happens, but that's it.
there is one ending difference. I realized that executing Star Child does not shortcut you to the destroy ending. I remember that it gives you the it's not really a secret, but the fourth ending of you shooting the Star Child. Like basically the Star Child's like, oh, you have I guess that was also the problem. That was a problem that I was willing to overlook the first time I played it, but the Reapers were these really cool, all-consuming, sentient race of creatures that were like harvesting life. And then you get to the ending of Mass Effect 3 and they're like, oh yeah, no, they're just dumb machines and I tell them what to do. And now you've made it to my secret Easter egg, so now you can tell them what to do. And that's kind of annoying, but I was willing to overlook it because I was on board with everything else that was happening. But if you execute the Star Child, you reject the premise of choosing anything about what the future of the Reapers should be. And so the Star Child is like, okay, well, I guess we're just going to fight to the death then. And then Shepard's like, yeah, and we'll beat you. And then they don't. And so the ending cinematic is it's like a Prothean beacon, but I guess it would be like a I don't know, it wouldn't even be a human beacon, like a this cycle beacon or a Citadel
it's like a time
beacon.
it's that time capsule that Liara makes, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But it's the one of Liara going, "Help us, Obi-Wan, you are our only hope," or whatever she says at the ending of Mass Effect 3, because all life got extinguished. So yeah, there is that fourth ending, which is varied compared to the others, but not varied in a super meaningful way to me.
Yeah, I personally think it would have been very hard for them to do a good ending anyway.
Yeah, it would have, and it's fun to meme on it, but like the rest, I really liked the rest of Mass Effect 3 enough that I don't know, if I close my eyes and pretend that there's only one ending and that's the synthesis ending, I'm actually reasonably okay with how it ends. What's otherwise probably my favorite series, so
I'm very much in that camp as well. It's probably top 5 favorite series of all time. I think just like, I can understand if you don't like the ending, what's the point? But at the same time, the ending is just one point. It's the whole journey the way through there. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Like play it. Everybody go play it. It's on Game Pass.
But I don't
Even
have
if it's not on Game Pass, I'd recommend. Yeah, well, it's too bad. It goes on special all the time.
Mass Effect Legendary Edition was free on Amazon recently, and it was free on Epic somewhat recently. And I think it's being added to the PlayStation 1, I think. Or it is part of? Oh. I don't know. It's also part of the, if you don't have Game Pass, the EA
Play, yeah.
EA Play thing, yeah. So there's many ways to get it without paying for a huge amount. It was on Humble Bundle recently as well. So,
but yeah, even if you don't like how it ties up the series, it does tie up a lot of the really kind of I'd say fairly crucial subplots within the Mass Effect series, like tying up Tuchanka. Tuchanka's a sick bloody set piece. Same with Branagh is a sick set piece. So even if you're not on board with the ending,
you can solve the Quarry and Geth conflict. You can cure or not cure the genophage. You get to all your different homies and all homettes. You can solve all their different problems and bring them all together. It's just the ending to the big plot is just it's unsatisfying. yeah. Miranda, let's go. It's my one.
Wow, just because you're Australian?
How'd you know?
That was a really long pause for that.
Oh, I was making that clicking sound in my mouth, but I don't think my mic was picking it up. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah, out of 10.
I'm never going to give a game a 10. No game's perfect, but it's like a 9.
Fair enough. As a series, Mass Effect?
It's a 9. I love it.
I was waiting for a 10.
You're not getting I don't believe it. Like, nothing's perfect type of thing. But it's
what
like
if you could give it a 9 point something? What would you give it?
I don't believe in giving out points either.
You don't believe in the 100 scale?
Not really. I think the 100 scale overcomplicates things.
I agree.
Personally, it's either don't recommend it or recommend it.
You don't believe in the 100 scale, but you're totally willing to believe in the 90 scale? What is this?
It's a 10-point scale.
Right, but you just said that 9 is the highest thing you'd give it, so you believe in a 9-point scale.
Hmm.
Based.
On what? Not giving things out 10.
No 10. Yeah.
Yeah, not perfection. Okay, well then how about we change the review system to be don't recommend, recommend, and highly recommend.
How many Krispy Kremes out of 10?
How many months of Ford truck month out of a year?
God damn it.
I'd give this a chuck of nuts out of Ford.
The fuck is
I
that
thought
scale?
I don't know.
Comment down below if you're an American that understood that scale.
You guys don't know what truck of nuts are?
No.
No.
This sounds like something you made up.
No, so you know how you can put on like your tow bars, like the nuts.
Oh, those, yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought they were called trucker nuts, but
I don't know.
maybe.
You got any of that beer with Skittles in it? You know, Skittle Brow? I think you may
it
have
doesn't
drunk it.
exist.
Yeah. All right, we'll give you a 6-pack and a couple of bags of Skittles.
I also enjoy that Steve talks about how he would never give a game a perfect 10, but he also says that he's played Hades, so
Yeah, that's true.
That's a 9 as well. That's really good. That it's a highly recommend.
I'd give it a 10, but I still need to finish the story.
fine. Yeah, exactly. And
I'd give it a 10
finishing the
just on
story,
OST, to
you'd
be honest.
easily give it an 11. Steve,
Yeah, exactly.
What could Hades do differently for you to give it a 10?
I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't know what there's no such thing as if we give a perfect score to a game, then it's like, oh yeah, cool, I'll never play a game again. Everything's going to be shit in comparison.
Well, okay,
Okay.
fine. Let's accept that premise for a sec. Hades is a very good game that makes other games shit by comparison. What's your point?
Okay, no. Okay, you got me there. All right then. Let me take that on board and reflect. But in the meantime, though, go play Mass Effect.
Man, I can't believe I have to give Steve's rating scores a 1 out of 10.
I don't know. I'm willing to go all the way down to a 0. I believe that exists.
Can't believe Seth's willing to go all the way.
Wow, you believe in the 0-point scale? Holy shit. But Seth, once you give him a 0, everything else seems amazing by comparison.
You're right, it does.
Oh no, the Josh shakes, they're coming.
I'm sorry, Steve, I love you.
I do not recommend this sledge.
The 0 is hitting rock bottom. The Josh takes is putting it 6 feet underground.
Unless it's about Final Fantasy 16, in which I am correct.
Still 6 feet
16
underground.
feet underground. 16 feet underground. But anyway, yeah, I've talked about Mass Effect for too long.
That's
Oh,
already
not
too
long
many
enough,
feet
really,
for
to be
Josh,
honest.
Steve, be careful.
Stop.
But I didn't know Josh had a limit. But yeah, cool.
I hate this.
Quentin Tarantino feet reference.
Right, anyway, thank you for that, Steve. Seth.
Let me get my notes.
Let me get my
Please
essay.
God, no.
All right,
Welcome
so
to List with Seth.
Yeah, oh my God.
Words.
I'm
My
kind of
God,
treating
it's
this.
been a while.
I'm kind of treating this this first go at Kakuranger kind of like a Josh's album of the week, sponsored by Ford Truck Month. So I've got a couple of fun facts here and like just general information on the show.
Okay, but I don't do a dot point for every song on the
No,
album.
let him finish, Josh. Let him finish. And then we can roast him when it's over.
All right.
Don't cry because it's over, roast him because it happened.
Let him finish like how the RS200 finished really highly in the Group B rally series back when Ford was doing rally cars.
All right, so
Now that's a niche reference.
So, I watched the first 10 episodes of Ninja Sentai Kakuranger, which was the Sentai series that ran from 1994 to 1995. It ran for about 53 episodes, which makes it the third longest running Sentai series to date. Couple of fun facts. Yep.
I'm gonna be honest. It sounds like you're saying hentai reference. I know you're not, but I'll need you to explain the difference to me.
Hentai is what you do when you
Sentai
want
is
to...
safe for work hentai. That's why it starts with an S.
Hentai is what you want to watch when you want to jack off. Sentai is what you want to watch when you want to watch people get together and do fun things.
I'm still not seeing the difference.
Yeah.
It just feels like I get to roleplay more with one of them.
Sentai, they usually put on a onesie.
I'm not seeing the difference.
trust me, you'll just have to trust me that there is a difference.
How many tentacles?
Sentai kind of does have some tentacle monsters.
Yeah, see, no difference.
One of the ones in these 10 episodes is an eye monster. There's also a Vor one.
I don't really want to hear about that.
Not helping your case, big fella.
No, I know. And so here Seth is willingly walking into the lion's den saying, yes, I willingly watched this. Please continue.
I am willingly making it sound worse just for you guys.
And it's not even that he just watched it. He watched it and took notes.
I actually just went and looked at the episode list and took notes from that because I didn't think of taking notes while watching it. Anyway, fun fact, it's the 5th Sentai team for the Heisei era of Japan, and overall it's the 18th Sentai team. And
you're right, that is a fun fact.
It is the only Sentai series to stagger the introduction of the heroes. It slowly introduced them over the first 3 episodes rather than just showing all of them in the first episode. And for Power Rangers fans, the footage from this series was used across Power Rangers Season 3 and the very, very short-lived Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, because when you see Japanese iconography, you go, yes, we should localize that as being alien. They specifically did a Japanese-themed series for this run, because Die Ranger, the one that came beforehand, was Chinese-themed, and so they wanted to do something more at home, I guess would be what they wanted to do, and they wanted to also explore using yokai folklore as the enemies throughout every episode. So every episode when they introduce one of the enemies, they give like a very, very short rundown of what that yokai's myth is.
Anyone that doesn't understand anything Japanese is going to be so lost with what you're talking about.
Okay,
I'm lost with what you're talking about.
Super Sentai is basically just Power Rangers, right? That's all it is.
To Englishify it, yokai are Japanese demons, and Sentai are Power Rangers.
Oh.
So which one of them jacks
He's literally
off?
just watching Power Rangers.
Why don't you say that? So the yokai are like the Reapers, and the Power Rangers is like Commander Shepard.
Have they tried sharing a Pepsi?
Which one was chemically neutered?
What a strange thing to say.
I don't know where to go with that.
But they probably drink Coke.
Okay, so I'll just do like a small breakdown of the episodes I've watched so far. So the first episode introduces 3 of the heroes, and they go to get their powers while fighting the a yokai demon. It introduces us to Sasuke, Tsuruhime, and Seikai. Then in the second episode, the Kappa demon gets away at the end of the first episode, making this a 2-parter. And in the second episode, they introduce the Kappa's wife, the Roku Rakubi.
I can't believe they made a demon based off a Twitch emote. That's wild.
And
I don't get it.
They also introduced the 4th member, Saizo, and the team's vehicle, Nekomaru, which is a living cat-themed bus. They go out of their way to say...
They straight up stole that from Ghibli. What the fuck?
What do you mean? They stole that from the Magic School Bus, and they made it into a cat girl.
We'll get to the cat girl in a minute. We'll get to the cat girl in a minute, Patrick. Settle down. But yeah, they go out of their way to say, no, the bus is a living creature, so treat it with respect.
It's very Japanese, yes.
And by the end of this episode, they take care of the Rokurubi and the Kappa. The third episode introduces the American ninja Jiraiya, who spends most of his runtime speaking in English, and people they also make it a point to point out that no one understands him when he's speaking in English, so he'll only ever speak in Japanese to convey his messages whenever he deems it completely necessary. And this is the episode where they also introduce the mechas for the series, because they've also been slowly rolling out like the general Sentai things that you'd see, like the weapons, transformations, the mechas, and everything else you'd get in the series.
So just double checking, this is the one that I should or shouldn't be jacking off to?
You can if you want.
Doesn't answer the question.
I wish you didn't say that.
You probably shouldn't. It's a children's show. But if you
Okay. You could have just said no. You could have just said no, and we moved on. Now you're making it weird.
You're the one that's asking about jacking off to Sentai.
You're the one that's bringing it up.
Right. I am not very funny. This is not Gucci.
Yeah, episode 3 also introduces the yokai Azukiari, and he gets away in this one, which also makes episodes 3 and 4 two-parters. They do this because they introduce a mecha in episode 3, and then in episode 4, when they do the big fight with Azukiari again, they do the fully combined mecha, which is the Miteki Shogun, which is just a giant shogun. And then after this,
like
the
the
episodes
crab?
get... No, like the Japanese person shogun, but it does have a crane on its head. Not a crab, but still.
Close enough.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
And then from here, the episodes get a bit more episodic. Episode 5 has Saizo and a child trapped in a maze while the Nurikabe and Mokumakuran yokai are gambling to see who escapes the maze first. These two yokai get away, and in episode 6, because they got embarrassed in episode 5, they start framing Tsuruhime in episode 6 for theft. Episode 7 is a...
Did you actually... Hang on. Did they actually steal anything? Or was it just like a...
They go into a jewelry store with a bag full of potatoes that they magic into looking like money. Pay the people with the money, leave, and immediately the people come running out of the store going, "This isn't money, this is potatoes. Where the fuck are the thieves?" And I just think the image of like a store owner running out into the streets yelling, "This isn't money, this is potatoes," is like extremely great.
Yeah, I guess so.
What sort of potatoes were they?
Just regular brown potatoes.
Speaking of potatoes, I just bought an air fryer.
Oh, nice. Air fryers are great.
Yeah.
We should talk about the air fryers after I'm done with Sentai.
When I get the air fryer. No, it's waiting for delivery, so then when it arrives. Next week, maybe I'll do a
diplomatic way
review.
of telling Steve to shut the fuck up.
He's like, shut up, I'm talking about my Japanese show that's built for children.
Man, speaking of air fryers, though, episode 7 is a food episode where Gakutsuki, I think is how it's pronounced. It looks suspiciously like Terry Bogard from the King of Fighters games.
From Super Smash Brothers.
And Fatal Fury, and yes, Super Smash Brothers. It looks exactly like Terry Bogard, except instead of a head, it's just a giant mouth. And this is a Vor episode where it forces itself in.
Fucking Vor episode. Shut the fuck up.
It forces itself into Saizo's stomach, which forces Saizo to keep eating until he grows into a huge person. I will not elaborate further than that.
I'll be quite honest with you, big fella. I did not ask.
You never ask, but I
We
deliver.
got Terry, we got Kirby. Man, everybody's here.
Everybody is here.
Got Sasuke, Goku's being added next week.
Goku's already in Fortnite.
We're not talking about Fortnite, we're talking about Super
for some
Sentai.
reason.
Really, I couldn't see him.
Now, Patrick, here's the one that you mentioned earlier. Episode 8 brings us an evil cat girl who's stealing children and turning them into her little minions of terror.
So children.
Yes.
Sure.
And for
Victimless crime.
I guess this is like the episode that gives us a little bit of a Nekomaru episode, because they rely on the bus cat a little bit to get the job done. Episode 9 is based on the American ninja Jiraiya. He's been watching too much television, and he's literally being a child in this episode. He's copying everything he sees on TV. He's copying samurai shows. He's copying wrestling shows. And there's there's yokai Dorotabo, who is also obsessed with TV like Jiraiya is, and they start competing to see who can become more famous. It doesn't go well. It's actually probably my favorite episode out of this list so far because it's actually really, really funny. And then episode 10 creeps me the fuck out because it's an episode where Sasuke is forced to fight the yokai Konaka Gigi, who is trapping human souls into dolls so it can pretend to have a family. And just all of the dolls moving around in this episode is terrifying to me.
Right,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
so
fine.
now that
Play
you're
on.
done the episode list, I have a question.
Yes.
What bet did you lose to make you have to watch this show?
No bet. I actually enjoy Power Rangers and Sentai and Kamen Rider.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah. Okay, no, power to you. Power to you. Who am I to judge?
We'll start a Patreon for Steph's therapy.
I mean,
if
you
wanna
guys,
donate.
you guys are making fun, but you're literally going through Naruto, which is also a show for children.
It's much more interesting than live action people yelling
Josh.
about demons.
Josh, you misunderstand. The therapy's for me.
Correct.
I would now like to inform everyone that I will be returning to this every 10 episodes to talk about more Sentai.
Every
If
10
you would like
episodes.
Steph not to, please write into the book.
I will ignore them because I am the editor and I can do what I want.
All right, but who's the sponsor for this every 10 episode segment?
Not Toei Animation because they'll take us down.
Didn't
I know you said
Bandai
it.
were
Take
they
us
involved
down like
in
the
Super
prices on a
Sentai?
truck in a Ford dealership near you.
Toei owns the Sentai series. I think they own most of like the superhero blocks. I think they do both Sentai and Kamen Rider.
Huh, interesting.
No, it's not. Okay.
What?
Don't worry.
I don't know.
Well, I don't really have any questions because a lot of this went over my head, I think.
Yes, I can
But-
confirm.
I guess what would you give it out of 10, Seth? Out of what you've seen so far?
So far, like, probably an 8. I'm enjoying it a lot. There's when it shows an episodic format like this, you know what you're getting every episode, but I don't think that stops it from being enjoyable. It's more about like what they do between the things you expect that make it that make the show for it.
Do you think it's the sort of media that would benefit that is like stronger when it's animated, or is there something about it being live? Because I imagine like if it was being done to like today, right? I guess unless you're Netflix, you'd probably end up making it an animated series.
No, they still
Would that
do
be stronger, or
they still do live action Sentai to this day, and Kamen Rider, they're still going very strong at the moment.
and you think live
and in
action's still the right call for it?
Yeah. The only thing I have a problem with like current Sentai is that when they do the mecha scenes now, they do them in TV budget CG, which I think
no.
which I think looks horrid.
So it's like
Yeah.
Thunderbirds, like puppets on strings.
Yeah. This is what the old stars is like people in like suits or like models that are being filmed, and I think those look so much better. And this series is definitely from the era where they were still doing that. I think it looks fun. They do fun things as well, like they keep throwing in comic book sound effects over certain actions, or even just funny moments like throwing in a giant oh no when something bad had happened. It's they play around with the show in live action in ways that I think are fun.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Well, as long as you're having fun.
I am having fun. But yeah, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. It's been enjoyable.
Sweet. I guess we will move on from that. Thank you, Seth. Josh, Horizon.
Yes.
Would you like to talk about Horizon, or are you gonna just sort of power through the second one and give thoughts on the series?
I definitely will take a break between the two. Now,
It's a
has
good choice.
anyone
From what
not
I played,
played
it's the same
Horizon
fucking game.
and doesn't want spoilers?
I played it.
Seth, I don't think you've played it, right, Seth?
No, I haven't. I plan on at some point, but just go ahead and talk about it.
I'll talk pretty broadly. I won't give specific spoilers, but there's parts I want to talk about the game that would be mid. It's a very light spoiler, I would say. Right. Okay.
You play as
So
a girl.
you do play as a girl.
You have a bow and
named
arrows,
Rory.
and there are mecha monsters.
Machines, but close enough. Right. So
Reapers,
have
one
you
would
played it,
say.
Patrick?
No, I haven't. I've played
okay.
all of 5 minutes of it, fucking around on a friend's PlayStation.
Okay.
Hmm.
When did you play it, Stephen? Recently or no?
Oh, it would have been like 2019, maybe even 2018. Like, actually, 2019, I think it was. It was a fair while ago.
Okay, so a couple of years back. Okay, so to give broad overview for anyone that doesn't know what Horizon is for some reason, it's been pretty popular, but it is exactly what Seth was saying. There are mechanized animals and dinosaurs and various other bits and pieces they basically inhabit a world that is post-apocalypse, and the main sort of beginning story of the game is trying to understand why these machines have become hostile over the last 15 years or so. And you go out to explore and go through this like almost Ubisoft-y open world where there's bits and pieces and quests everywhere, and you basically try and find out what caused the violence of these machines, and you go down this path. Now, in general, you have a spear, you have a bow, and then you have various elements that you can shoot out of the bow with your arrows and your traps and bits and pieces like that. And you have customizable armor to the point where you can slot in and out basically modifications. You can do the same thing for your weapons. The open world is, when I say Ubisoft-y before, it's Ubisoft-y if you had taken like one area of Assassin's Creed and then sort of filled that in with a little bit more than just collectibles. There are quests and you visit all sorts of areas of the map to do these quests, and you sort of get things along the way without deliberately going out of my way for it. I pretty much got every single collectible in the game. There was only about 2, I think, that I was missing out of the like 72 total. So it was not too bad. But the big selling point of this game is definitely to start with the I guess machine monsters and dinosaurs and animals and everything that are in there. And then as you go on, it's primarily a story-focused game. The stuff I want to talk about is basically the Horizon story as a whole. So while it starts with the quest to sort of go through and go, okay, well, where are these machines coming from? They're dangerous. You're very, very, very early on, your mentor / father figure gets killed, and you're sort of also on a quest to basically avenge him, but also try and figure out why these people invaded your hometown and killed him trying to kill you. But going on through there, you find out basically that the cause of the machines is what they were calling a derangement, and that they're getting more and more hostile ever since your birth, basically. And you start learning about the machines to sort of give broad non-spoilers. You start learning about the machines and their relation to you, as well as there's this overarching concept of where you grow up in your society, for lack of a better word. Everything's basically formed around the concept of like your mother and paying respect to them, and you don't have one, and you're trying to figure out who your mother is. The story really sort of shines, I think. So there's parts of the world where you find out what happened to the original world, why there's these ruins everywhere, what caused the apocalypse and everything. But the really strong part of the story for me, which I was really surprised at, is really just focused around Aloy herself, and her story to find her mum, and just the understanding and the growth that character goes through, as well as the story of her mother, because you sort of find out all about her mum and like her past and what she did in the previous world and all these other bits and pieces which tie in really nicely. I can't really say too much more without giving away spoilers, but the game as a whole is just extremely well written. I think that it's one of the strongest stories I've played in a while. Almost not quite as good as The Last of Us, but definitely up there. I definitely think it's worth playing. I think that there's a whole bunch of different themes going on. So I did every single side quest before I finished the game. The ending seems to depend, or the bit just prior to the ending seems to depend pretty heavily around what you did in the world. So I think the ending would be harder, or at least different, if you didn't go out of your way to do all the side quests. So there seems like there's a bit of like Mass Effect-y BioWare kind of stuff going on there too, where it can affect at least the visuals you're getting of the story. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's very good. I would highly recommend playing it.
Yeah. What do you feel about the combat?
Mixed. I think it would have really done well with it. No, I really enjoyed the combat. My one big takeaway about the combat was that it really needed a lock-on system. That was the only thing that I was really like, man, this really holds this back. The start of the game, it's not too bad because you're usually fighting one or two machines. Once you get like really into it and you're fighting people and you're fighting machines and there's like 30 of them in this little area, you're like, fuck me, bro. You're just dodging constantly and just pressing attack and hopefully it becomes Dark Souls basically. You start rolling to iframe dodge things and just start whacking things, or you stay really far back and take pot shots with your bow. I think
it does become like that. Yeah.
Yeah. When you're doing like the one-on-one sort of fights where you're fighting like the, I guess, quote-unquote boss monsters of the little areas, like the giant bird and the Tyrannosaurus kind of monsters, that really shines there, where you're using your bow to pick off. So the combat focuses pretty heavily around elemental advantage, and also you can use those elements and the different types of arrows and stuff to break off parts of machines. And you can break off, for example, the guns on the side of the T-Rex and pick up the gun and start shooting the T-Rex with it. All that stuff is sick. It doesn't really hold up when you're fighting 30 different enemies that you two-hit, but they're annoying because, there's 30 of them.
Can you carve the gun once you break it off?
No. You
It's
carve
not
out...
Monsanto.
Yeah, you carve
I
out
don't know
other
about you,
pieces
Steve, but I
of
just heard
person.
it. I've heard Josh talk about for the last 7.5 minutes about how he went and hunted monsters. So
Honestly,
maybe
there's a
you
lot of
weren't paying attention.
similar aspects to Monster Hunter in terms of like elemental advantage. You can like set things on fire, you can paralyze them, you can freeze them, you can do a whole bunch of different things like that with the types of arrow that you're using. You can break off parts.
Seth join my game and feed?
No.
Damn it. That's
Doesn't
the
sound
one
like
thing I
Monster
want to
Hunter
Plus
to
one
do.
for Horizon. Yeah, no, the whole combat, like I said, is really good when you're doing like 1v1 on a big sort of boss monster, and it does become Monster Hunter where you'll break off parts and you'll get extra parts if you break them off. You just don't get it for the weapons that you break off. So if I break off like the metal on its back, or I blow up one of the like blaze containers, which is like this ignitable substance, I'll get that blaze container as loot. And you have to go collect parts to upgrade your not weapons, but like your stash of things. So how many arrows you can hold, how many potions you can hold, how many armor pieces you can hold, how many modifications, stuff like that. Resources. So it is a little bit of a collectathon kind of thing, but when you start the game, you get the ability to craft arrows basically using money and wood. That I was being pretty cautious with, like, I don't want to use all these resources. I'll use my spear whenever I can. As you progress through the game and you can buy those resources super cheap, or you find them everywhere in the resource containers, you basically just you're like, that's weak to fire, I'll just use fire arrows. That's weak to shock, I'll use shock arrows, whatever. And those weapon abilities change based on the type of bow you're using as well. So you have a bow that does like shock and ice, and you'll have a bow that does fire and stuff like that. So you have to swap things in and out. So the combat is quite good. It just really needed a lock-on system, and the having to fight mass amounts of enemies was a bit weak. What were your thoughts on it, Stephen?
I really enjoyed it. It's sort of probably about 75% of the way in. I got sort of a bit like burnt out. And I'm not sure it's because it's just a lot of like you're doing the same thing over and over again type of thing. I'm trying to cast my mind back. I did really enjoy the combat. I did enjoy the world and the whole idea of humanity's essentially gone back to being primitive, but all these machines are roaming around eating people. The climbing just sort of, I thought it resembled a bit too much like one of those Ubisoft games where you got to climb up. You climb up the head of those tortoise giraffe things, and it's like, oh, cool, it's one of these games.
Yeah, luckily there was so that acts like a synchronized point, like in Assassin's Creed for reference. Luckily, there's only about 6 of those, including the one in the DLC. So they do feel almost meaningful when you get it, and they unlock very large areas.
That is true. And you do get a good view.
And the like override thing that you do to take control of them is very cool.
That is true. That is very cool. Maybe it's just because it was like the first couple are like, okay, cool, this is all right, and then it's like, all right, it's just fucking work.
Yeah, it is a bit like that. Like I would make a beeline for them so I could clear out the map so I could see what else was in the map.
See, and that's what it comes down to. It's like, okay, I don't know where I am. I'm just going to go straight to find this, and that's all going to be it.
Yeah, I think I think I'm lucky in the way that I approach the game because being open world, it's not like Zelda-esque open world, for lack of a better term, like Metroidvania, where you sort of like have to go back and then you unlock different areas. Once you get to the main area of the game, once you basically complete the tutorial, you can go anywhere. I went out of my way. Go on.
I don't want to use this example, but it's closer to like a Breath of the Wild or a Skyrim type of open world. It's like there's nothing stopping you from going somewhere else.
Once you get through the initial area, you can just go wherever you like. The only exception being the DLC, which you have to get a little bit far in the story before you can go to that part of the land. But I basically jumped in and I did a little bit of the main story, and then I went out of my way trying to like sort of do all the side quests and everything because they were just fairly enjoyable, but also I was trying to get used to the game. So by the time I had completed almost every single side quest, I looked back and I was like, oh, where's the main quest? And I'm like, oh, I'm 20 levels higher than it. So
I fell into that same thing. Like, like, okay, I'm doing a couple of side things. All right, let's do the main thing. So everything's dying one hit.
Yeah, which I didn't find a bad thing because I think like the side quests were mostly forgettable. Some of them were very, very good, which were the main ones that sort of act towards the end of like, oh, you help this person, so they're here and you can do this now. Those ones were interesting. The other side quests were just mostly busy work. But the actual main quest itself was phenomenal. I loved the entire story from start to finish. And to me, that was the strongest part of the game. And I even said, like, I understand why it's an open world to add the vastness and the like whole, this is an apocalyptic world, go explore it. You get parts of the story from the world itself, but it would have been a much stronger game in a story-based format where you just basically go through areas and progress, in my opinion. Which is a shame. That's true. But the main story as a whole was fucking excellent, and I highly recommend, even if you're not gonna like play it, to even just watch someone play it or watch even just the basic main quest of the main story. I think it's excellent, and it really sort of the main character being female was a huge selling point of that story for me. And I think that they did an excellent job with it, and they made her a very strong, very good representation of what a female lead should be in video games. So I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, it's probably one of the first AAA games we actually do play the whole story as a female, isn't it?
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider and Mirror's Edge.
There's a couple, but Mirror's Edge is probably not so much, but like Tomb Raider and stuff, like they were always like sexualized even, and there are multiple points through the main. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. But like, there's multiple points through the story of this game where you'll meet different people and they'll be like, "Hey, I'll help you because you're hot," kind of thing or whatever, and she's kind of just like, "Fuck off."
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she does it a fair bit, and she's basically just on her quest and doing her thing. And while she's not particularly like rude, she's not rude either. Like, she's just a strong female lead, and they did a very good job with it, I think.
That's cool. Yeah, it's available on PC as well, right?
It is. It was released on PC a year or two ago.
That long ago? Holy shoot! All right.
A little while ago, yeah.
Because it's sitting in my wish list, but I just have too many other things to play that's not at the top. But I intend to play it at some point, probably.
It's also available on the PlayStation Game Pass equivalent. Whatever they're calling it, I forget what they're calling it.
It's just PlayStation Plus Deluxe.
PlayStation Plus Deluxe is the name of it.
But I played it through there, and it was good enough that while I don't intend on playing the second one right away, because the first one is a very closed loop story, I feel, I do intend on playing the second one to the point where I was willing to buy it. It was on sale, quote unquote, and it was like $80 instead of $125. So I was like, oh, you know what, that's sort of the maximum I will ever pay for a game, and I didn't have to pay to play the first one, so $40 each game. I'll pick it up. But I'll give you a review on the second one when I play it, I guess.
Because the next thing on your list is Outer Wilds, right?
Outer Wilds is definitely next on my list. I opened it up and then got a little bit confused, died, and was like, I'm going to bed. But it's next on my list to play.
Fantastic. Great game. Love it.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to talking about that again.
Yes. I might actually go and play that again. Actually, no, I won't. Too many other things to do.
well, Echoes of the Eye is one of the next things on my list.
It's a DLC for it, right?
Yeah. And while I think of it, Cult of the Lamb is out very soon.
It is. No, it's out now.
It
Out
came
now,
out this week.
okay. Yeah,
A mutual
I
friend of
wasn't
ours has been playing it. It looks very good. Very fun.
Wasn't sure which of those, but yeah,
Rollerdrome is
that's-
also out, and I'm very heavily thinking about buying that right now.
That's waiting for me when I get back to Auckland. But thank you for that, Josh. I believe that is everyone's week covered. Yes.
Unless
That
you wanted
is
to cover
correct.
something.
Yeah, do you want to talk about anything, big fella? What's on your mind?
Well, I don't really have anything to talk about. Hot Wheels DLC, sort of covered.
Beat
Outer
that.
Wilds, sort of covered. Both have been completed, but both I don't think there's a lot of meaningful discussion to be had yet. Maybe if other people play it and we get more of a consensus on it, but both are good. Gave my out of 10s of both in previous episodes. Shout out to previous episodes. Go back and comment down below which episodes those were because I don't remember.
Oh,
Without giving anything
Should
away,
I-
how was your experience with the 48-hour film festival? Like, just the filming process. How did that go for you? If you want to talk about it.
Yeah, I guess I can talk about it for 5 minutes, which is ironically about the length of the film. So this is the 9th, I think, 8th or 9th. I think it's 9th now. Because we
I think
calculated
the
it
first one you
before.
guys did was 2012, so it'd be 10 years. Oh no, but there was a year missing, so 9.
Yeah, but I missed one of them, and I competed with a different team for one of them. So
Oh,
I-
traitor.
yeah, exactly. So I've competed with basically the same team for all except 2 years. So yeah, I guess this would be my 9th one. I think I'm only missing one. Is that right?
I'm pretty sure it was
No.
9 because I was
No,
going
I-
through it with a friend of ours.
I'm missing 2. Anyway, the point is I've done at least 7. And
Huh.
so no. So this is important, right? Because the 48-hour film festival, it's been running since early 2000s. Really cool thing, really fun way to get into it. So I first competed in 2012 in high school, and so of the at least 7 that I've done, I think it's probably 8 now. I think there's probably 2 that I'm missing. Of the 8 that I've done, pretty much every year they give you. So they don't want you to have a film ready to go, right? So when you enroll, they so 7 o'clock on the Friday they give you a genre, and then because it's changed formats over the years a couple times, but usually some combination of a prop, a character, a camera shot, or a like a line. Although this year it was a character. Some combination of those, usually 3 of those elements alongside the genre. And so there's normally at least 8 genres to pick from. I have done 8 of these. I have gotten musical 3 times.
Good.
I
Hamilton Part 2.
do not understand what divine maths I have triggered to get to the point where I'm doing a musical roughly a third of the time that I compete in a 48-hour film competition. And so the one that I just did was also a musical. Woohoo! Which, I don't know. Musical comes with its own set of challenges. I was really hoping that it wouldn't be a musical. Because,
the ability to sing is one of them.
For
Yeah.
record, I was helping them out doing quote unquote editing. And on the Friday when I asked Patrick to send through the stuff, it was like musical. Oh, we're fucked.
yeah.
It was hilarious to me. What was the
Yeah.
other theme? It was a gatekeeper. It was
Yeah, so what was required for this year's film, for the 2022 Vista Foundation 48-hour film festival, was you needed to make a film that is less than 5 minutes that is of the genre that you've been assigned. There were 10 genres to pick from this year, which makes it even funnier that I got, well, funnier and sadder that I got musical/dance. The other requirements were that we included a sign as a prop or like I think it could also be metaphorical. I think they let
that
you
was
read,
my interpretation of it. Yeah.
yeah, I think they let you read into a sign in any way you wanted, but there had to be some reference to a sign, whether a physical sign or a sign from the universe. A character that was a gatekeeper, a whisper or something that was whispered in the film, and I think those were the 3.
This is my voice going right into you.
feel like there was one more, but I don't remember what it was.
Nice.
No, I'm pretty sure that was it.
Whisper,
Oh no, I'm
whisper.
thinking one more because it was a musical / dance, and you went with musical, understandably.
Yeah, which, yeah. I've only seen one national winner win on the back of a musical, and that was because they coordinated with the Auckland Fire Department to burn a house down as their opening shot.
Actually,
So what I think it was that that team I suspect knew or was involved with the fire department in some way, and I think it was like a training thing that they managed to get footage of that weekend.
that's really cool though.
Oh, it was a sick opening shot.
The
But it's also
coincidence
like,
that. Oh,
what the hell do you do to like top that? You know, like
yeah.
if a musical is going to take out the national title, it's going to be the one where they burn a house down as the opening shot.
Not even that, but I burnt a house down within 48 hours.
True. But yeah, that was a cool video. So I'm not claiming that what we produced will be anywhere close to that, but it's a little annoying that of all of the different genres that we could choose, God decides that musical / dance is the one that we get a third of the time, which really don't know how to feel about that. But overall, the weekend was fun. We were a little bit short on crew. A couple people that wanted to compete couldn't. They had something come up at the last minute. So we had a lot of people kind of doing multiple things, which if we were in a larger team, it generally works easier to have people kind of specialize and focus on one or two things throughout the weekend. But yeah, it was fun. There's an NDA on it at the moment, so I can't discuss too much about it because they are currently judging all of them. But within a month, probably within 2 to 3 weeks, it'll be freely available online for anyone to go and ridicule.
I will be
That's my
first in line to ridicule.
6-minute roundup of the 48-hour festival. Yeah, I guess that brings us to the end of part 1 for this week, and it means that we get to move on to part 2 for this week, which is of course the news. And starting off the news this week, we have more Kirby. I can't tell if I'm woohoo or not about this news.
I'm boohoo. It's literally you're paying money to play Kirby Fall Guys. Kirby guys. 4 Kirby's. 4
Four
Kirby's.
Kirby's.
Isn't Kirby's Dream
after
Buffet
Fall Guys became free to
free?
play as well.
I thought Kirby's Dream Buffet was a free game.
It might be.
No, that's what I thought it as well. And if you, it's $25.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
pretty
steep.
cheap.
I think
I
that's
think
pretty
that's pretty
steep. I think that's pretty steep for a game like
The
this.
duality of man.
Yeah, behold.
I think that's steep for a game like this. It doesn't
Fall
look
Guys
like
was $25, I think.
Fall Guys.
Yeah, but now it's free.
Yeah, and Fall Guys had more to do from the looks of it than this does.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the round friend-shaped Kirby.
You know what?
It's
I
true,
want
It's
you're
super suck
you're
mode.
paying for the IP.
I want
I mean,
to.
yes,
I want,
that's
a,
Nintendo
the
for you.
Nintendo tax.
I want
Yeah.
a Kirby Fall Guy now. They've done multiple other ones. They've done Sonic ones. Give us a Kirby one, and make it horrific.
No, please no.
Make it Kirby, but just in the shape of a Fall Guys bean.
Yeah,
Please
it's like
no.
it's Kirby eating the Fall Guy, and he's just stuck. like the mouthful mode. Mouthful of beans.
Oh my god, mouthful Fall Guy bean. Oh no. Yeah, it
You
looks.
guys are breaking my heart.
It looks interesting. I don't see myself picking this up. It seems like it's trying to fill a niche gap that I don't really care about.
It's
to me-
small, fun, little party-ish sort of thing, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
but to me, this gap is filled by some combination of Mario Party, WarioWare, and
Yeah, but they're $80 games.
Okay,
I would happily
fair.
pay. I would happily pay $80 for Mario Party compared to $25 for this.
Gosh,
Yeah.
oh.
I don't know.
Mario
I'll-
Party brings me endless joy and frustration.
Does it? Every time I bought a Mario Party game,
Wait,
I play
wait,
one
wait,
game
wait,
with
wait,
friends
wait,
and they're
wait,
like,
wait.
nope.
Hang on, but Seth, you haven't been paying $80 for Fast Travel Lounge.
No, I should be getting paid for Fast Travel Lounge.
No, but you just
For
said
what?
you would pay to get to for something to bring you endless joy and frustration. That's literally what the last 37 episodes have been.
Yeah, but I should be getting paid for my time putting work into it.
You know what?
This is
We'll
your
call it
side
even.
hustle. You're on that grind.
You get paid in exposure.
What exposure?
Exposure
podcast.
therapy to Josh.
Oh god, I want out.
You know how
I'm
you're
breaking
like-
it for a year deal.
But it's a different type of exposure, not the one that got you banned from schools. This is like exposure for your budding podcast career.
Holy shit, Steve. But Saif, you can't back out of the 3-year deal. What'll Mixer say about this?
I don't care what Mixer says about it because didn't they have to pay out everyone that they had in the
Yeah,
deal?
they died.
Yeah, they did. They did.
They did,
Yeah,
yes.
so if Okay.
That's why Ninja literally could not care about what he does on Twitch anymore.
yeah, but you know,
Anyway,
as long as Josh has to stick to the 3-year deal, then I'm fine.
Joke's on you. I'm not even here for half the episodes as it is. I
We did the math. It's more than half.
think I've been here for the last 4.
Time for a break.
Mm.
Damn
Yeah,
right.
don't have time for a break.
Anyway,
Anyway.
anyone else looking at picking up Kirby?
What?
No.
Not for the amount of money they're asking for. Maybe if it goes on sale, but then again, it's a Nintendo game, so they never go on sale.
I'm pretty sure I have
Something
$25 of like saved up Nintendo online credit thing, so pretty good.
Mario, that Mario and Rabbids game goes on sale all the time, like
That's a
80%
Ubisoft
off.
game.
But it's like got Mario in it.
Yeah, but it's a Ubisoft game.
Yeah,
Ubisoft
see, but
makes it and
it also has
publishes
the rabbits in it, so it really drags it
Yeah,
down.
I don't know.
Nintendo would never publish something with the rabbits in it.
Wouldn't they?
Speaking of things that are rabid, fans for Hogwarts Legacy can be disappointed to hear that the game's been pushed back to 2023 release. It was supposed to be, was it November, December this year?
It was
Initially?
rumored December this year.
Yeah. Well, pretty much 2022, and like as the days became months, it
It
wasn't
was
coming out.
Yeah,
delayed so they can remove all the anti-Semitic and transphobic remarks.
Scrub it clean.
The
J.K.
Hogwarts
Rowling's
thing,
had
ain't
it
it?
good for too long. But yeah, no, it was hard 2022 as it came days and the years, the months and the weeks, like Steve said. It started feeling like it was never going to come this year. Then rumors were coming out like, oh yeah, no, they're going to do a PlayStation State of Play in September. They'll announce it for December, and then the news hit that it was coming out February instead.
4 days before Valentine's Day. So that everyone that still loves Harry Potter religiously can play it on Valentine's Day while they're still single. You heard me?
Yikes.
I do
What
not.
are you gonna
I
say,
do not.
Luca?
I do not-
Wait. And speaking of being alone,
I just want to
Hey,
quickly
what a
want to
great
say.
segue.
I just
you.
wanted to quickly say that I do not condone Josh's messages.
What's new? Alright, so speaking of alone, Patrick.
I'm so happy with that. Speaking of alone, this is quick fire. Holy shit, going through a whole bunch of news so quickly. Speaking of alone, we have an Alone in the Dark reboot announced for PS5, Xbox Series, and PC coming. Actually, do we have? No, we don't have
The
a
release date was not announced, but it's been in development since late 2019.
Since yeah, that was what I saw, and then figured
And
there'd
then
be
it
a
threw you
release
off.
date follow up from that.
Yeah, Alone in the Dark was something I played a demo of on PS3, and it was really interesting. Never got the full game, but no, it was something I always wanted to play, and a reboot sounds interesting.
Yeah,
You're just used to being alone in the dark anyway, aren't you, big fella?
Oh.
I'm not alone, I have my left hand.
Oh.
Left. Do you sit on it so it feels numb? Someone else there with you?
No,
If
no,
that's left, I
I
don't
do
wanna
that
be
to
right.
righty.
Get help.
You're the one that started me down this path.
No, well, I didn't know. That's maybe you in your own time, your business, big fella.
I meant in the conversation.
Wait. Steve finished Seth. Is that what I heard?
No, Steve
Only while his
started me,
hand
and I
was
had to
numb.
finish myself.
Oh, okay. That happens with Steve.
Wow, alone in the dark, eh?
He's a
Selfish.
selfish
Never played
lover.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I've got my 5 seconds, I'm done.
5, shooting for the big leagues.
I'm a marathon runner, what can I say? Always funny.
You
Always
finished your
funny.
marathon 1 second fast.
The
It's a
fastest
race.
man in the West.
It's a
Can we
race
please
and he
move
intends
on?
to win.
No.
So Alone in the Dark is interesting. I didn't know a huge amount about this, but it's I don't know because shoot, when this is a reboot of a game that I've only heard of, but I don't know much about its original. When was the original out?
2007, I think.
Yeah, okay. That's sort of the ballpark that
I know it
wanted
was
to
a
field it
PS3
as,
360 game.
because I think I remember this when I was into Alan Wake. which sounds about right
Based.
if that's around 2007 mark.
2008.
Actually, you know what? I think I remember reading about this in the same magazine, the Xbox magazine, as Alan Wake, to be honest. This does sound vaguely familiar.
But
Yeah,
but the
double checking on it. Alone in the Dark, the game was 2008.
Yeah, cool. And so the fact that the timing of that means that I completely missed it when it came around the first time. I am also tentatively interested in the reboot because this has, at least on paper, a lot of the elements that I quite like in horror film. So yeah, I'm reasonably excited for this.
Yeah, and it's got me interested in checking out the original game. In fact, it's $1.50 on Steam right now.
Alone in the Dark is
90% off
apparently...
for the next
I was
30
gonna say,
hours.
I'm sure you could wait for that to be 50% off, but if it's already 90, don't know you're going to get a better deal than that.
$2.15 to get 4 games. I am putting that in my cart right now.
You're actually buying it. Are you actually going to get to it? You have so many games in your backlog, but you felt what the fuck are you doing?
I mean, I gotta buy it while it's on sale.
Stevie's already Alone in the Dark. It's a win-win.
Turn the light, big fella.
Apparently, Alone in the Dark also was a 1992 video game that inspired the original Resident Evil games.
Huh.
Which is kind of based, so I might give it a go too, especially for like $1.45, like it currently is on Steam.
$2 to get 4 games. Alone in the Dark, Alone in the Dark 2, Alone in the Dark 3, and Alone in the Dark 2008.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know how well they would have aged, but yeah, I guess for $2.
I mean, it's $2. Like, yeah, it's half the price of a cup of coffee.
Yeah, well, I mean, for only for only 40 of those, you could get Dragon Ball Z: The Breakers.
He's right.
That's 160 games of value right there. Anyway, moving on, we have SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, wait, sorry. Just before we move on, it has a 1% rating on Rotten Tomatoes as a movie. 1%. That's fucking rough.
Is it?
Audience score of 11%. Oh, surely this is a separate movie. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Sorry, move on now.
What
1%
movie?
was just shocking. Alone in the Dark. I don't know if it's a movie based on the game or what, but it popped up in the Google results, and yeah, it's a 1% tomato meter rating and 11% audience rating.
Hold up, Alone in the Dark, because that sounds like that's the video game series. What's the movie?
2005 horror film. Hang on.
Oh, 2005. Okay, no, it's different film. The
Lionsgate Films. I don't know, but yeah, that's an incredibly low rating, so it must be god awful.
Huh. Okay, because there's one.
Well, it's just Steph's own videos, isn't it?
No, that's Seth
mine was
After Dark.
1 hour and 38 minutes. Jeez, Seth.
Listen, I am a good marathon
It's
runner.
1 second of Steph it's 1 second of Steph and an hour and a half of him crying.
Oh god, the stills from this movie do look
and
awful.
then 8 minutes of credits.
That's a horrible thing to say about Steph.
I gotta get the pre-game, the post-game.
Oh,
The interview with the other team.
Yeah, the boys play's pretty good. Yeah, credit to the boys.
full credit to the boys. Just gotta go out there and play some footy.
All of the arse slapping in the locker room.
Damn right.
Nothing straighter than that.
Let the boys
Definitely
play,
not.
I say.
Anyway.
But you never let me play.
It's the idea.
Speaking of play, SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake. We have a 2022 trailer of. Have we talked about this at all? This looks completely new to me.
We talked
It
about
does
this
look new
being
to me as
announced,
well.
but this is the first time they've shown it. Like,
Right.
they had a splash screen reveal before with, I think it was a release date or a now in development message. But yeah, this is basically like a new type of platformer, like Battle for Bikini Bottom, since that
Yeah, I was going to say
reboot
because
remake came
it's
out.
a lot. It looks a lot like Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
does inspire a certain word, 5 letters, beginning with S.
I was thinking
Sleep.
of a 4-letter word starting with K.
Sorry, what?
Kino.
I don't even... Kino, oh god.
Oh.
I was so lost on what you were going to say.
But I thought you horribly misspelt a slur.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Okay, what?
Yeah,
No,
I don't.
I would not call SpongeBob a Rice Krispie square.
He does kind of look like one.
I don't know that this game has a huge amount on the box checking of things that I find enjoyable, but
It looks
I
like
like
a
it's got
fun
SpongeBob in
collectathon.
it.
I like SpongeBob, I guess. So.
They just
I
did
don't know.
Battle for Bikini
Future.
Bottom to get used to this type of game, so I kind of
Future.
hope they'll do good. I think that I've got faith in them.
How good would it be if they announced a release date of just Squidward doing the future?
That'd actually be pretty fucking tops.
It'd be fucking excellent. I would almost buy the game off the back of that, honestly.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's probably for kids.
Yeah, it's a
There,
SpongeBob
I
game.
said
I don't
it.
know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Don't think us hardcore gamers are fully going to appreciate it.
yeah, no,
Well-
that we have Battle for Bikini Bottom, the most
But
hardcore
think-
SpongeBob game of all
But
time.
think of the achievements.
Think
Think of the easy gamer score.
Nah, some of them might have like a bullshit achievement. Like,
Reach number 1% competitive in SpongeBob Online.
yeah, you have to make a jump that you can only make if you follow a specific set of instructions as soon as you load the game. Yeah, maybe. I'm not going to get it. I don't care.
Me either.
I'll probably
Goes
get it
SpongeBob.
at some point when it's on sale.
It'll come in a Humble Bundle at some point. I'll play it then.
That's true.
Will you play
Alongside
it or will you just
Nickelodeon
buy
All-Star Brawl.
Yeah, well, that's already been on the Humble Bundle.
That's what I mean, cross DLC. Right, moving on though, we have a
In
pretty
a cowboy outfit.
Yeah,
I
the
was watching
cowboy
the trailer
outfit's so
of it.
good.
Yeah, he's a cowboy. Yeehaw!
They got
as they
multiple
say.
costumes throughout the trailer. It actually looks really, really good and well done. Like, I like level-specific costumes in platformers.
I just like that they have voice acting. It's a
Look,
small
not
ask.
Look
all,
at you,
not all
Pokemon.
of us can reach that bar. Look at Nick All-Star and Pokemon.
True.
It's a hard bar. It costs a lot of money.
More money than Game Freak can afford. They're a small indie studio after all. Give them some slack.
Anyway, next up on the list we have announcement of a new South Park game in development, courtesy of THQ Nordic. This would be is it fourth? At least in terms of main games, because there's Fractured Butthole, Stick of Truth.
There's
There's
a
a-
snowball fighting one, and the kart
There's a
racer.
South Park kart racing from PS1.
Oh, that's such a
okay.
good game. I had it on the 64.
If it
South
is a
Park Rally, I
sequel-
think it's called.
South
Oh.
Park. Yeah, that might be it. I think it might have been the same game. Yeah, I think if it's going to be another RPG one, it would be the third one, if that's what you're asking.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of. For some reason, I thought they'd already done 3. But yeah, Fractured Butthole and Stick of Truth, because those are the two most recent ones, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, so they announced it. They announced basically no detail alongside it, other than right at the end of the THQ Nordic Digital Showcase. But yeah, I'm moderately excited. I played through a chunk of Fractured Butthole, but didn't finish it because I got it on Switch, and it was a game that I regret getting on Switch because I got it on Switch when it was on sale, but it's not a game that I felt like suits playing on Switch, just because it's sort of in that intermediate thing of it doesn't have the pick up and put down sense of something more casual, but it's
And it
also
probably
not.
requires more than 5 frames a second. Or
I mean, I think play wise it was probably fine actually. It's just like yeah, it just wasn't something that my preferred way of playing a game like Fractured Butthole is keyboard and mouse, I think I'll say. And so to play it with a controller was a bit unwieldy for me, and then playing it with a controller on Switch when it was in docked or just on Joy-Cons in handheld just wasn't super enjoyable or easy for me to kind of enjoy. But anyway, so I
enjoyed Fractured Butthole. I enjoyed both of them, both of the previous ones, Fractured Butthole and Stick of Truth.
I
Which
recently
pretty good.
downloaded them, so I might give them a go.
I platinum Stick of Truth. I never got around to playing Fractured Butthole, but it seems good. I
What,
like Stick of Truth a lot.
What difficulty did you play
Fractured Butthole's-
Fractured Butthole on, Steve?
Oh, that's right. It had like the race scale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Did it
that's-
really?
Yeah, like
Oh
literally,
man,
so like,
beating
like-
Blizzard to the punch on that one.
yeah, like narrative difficulty was like white is white, and like the harder difficulty is like black. It's so funny.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's actually so
it's-
fucking
it's-
funny.
there's,
Very South Park.
yeah, there's excellent compilations of people seeing that for the first time and losing their minds at it. It's very
I
entertaining.
would also
It-
lose my mind at it, yes.
It reminds me of the Family Guy joke about if someone's safe or a terrorist, and it's just
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it's
totally
exactly
different.
the same
Yeah.
scale.
It's the same scale. Yeah, I think there's only like
nice.
4 though. I think 4 or 4. Well, I can't remember. Yeah, doesn't matter. Play those games; they're really good. They
Anyway.
can be got for very cheap. But yeah, anyway, THQ's making a new one. Though from what I saw, it doesn't look like it'll be in the same vein anyway.
From what you saw,
might-
it was just a thumbnail.
I doubt it because Ubisoft made the last couple of games. THQ will do something completely new, I think.
Saints Row, South Park, let's go.
God, if only.
Not a huge amount more that we can share on that though, so we shall move on. Next one, we have Disney and Marvel Game Showcase set for September 9.
a Disney Direct, if you would.
Disney Direct. I need someone to tell me if I should care about this because my default position is that I don't.
I will steal a joke from Twitter. Patrick, Marvel vs. Capcom will not show up here. Patrick, I need you to put up your hand.
All right, my hand is raised.
This is an audio medium.
No, Patrick, there will also not be Kingdom Hearts or KOTOR.
My hand is raised again.
The only thing that vaguely interests me is the quote-unquote sequel to Jedi Fallen Order that may get shown. That's it. I could not care less about the rest.
I don't reckon it will be.
I'd love for that to be shown off. I'm also putting on my clown makeup and hoping that we get some Kingdom Hearts because they usually show up at D23 events. In fact, they announced a Toy Story World at a D23 event. It was really cringe because Nomura was sitting there and getting freaked out by people pretending to be the toy soldiers from Toy Story all marching around him.
Is it called D23 every year?
Yeah.
Why is it called D23?
Because eventually it'll be D23 next year.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going for, the 2023 announcements. I thought it was like a yearly thing.
It has a reason for being named. It's D for Disney and 23 for 1923.
So it is
Thanks,
a year?
I hate it.
I thought it was talking about the number of Marvel movies they were going to release this year. Guess I'm wrong.
Movies, you're expecting a lot. They split it up into shows now to make it cheaper.
All of this is horrible. All right, let's move on.
Unfortunately, nothing that was said there makes for a good segue. But next up in the news, we have Multiverses adding DC's Black Adam and Stripe from Gremlins as part of their Season 1 DLC announcements.
Fucking Gremlins.
I guess canonically means that The Rock... Wait, does The Rock exist in Fortnite yet?
Yes, he does actually.
I feel like he should, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think he does.
I don't know as part of what collaboration.
I think he was just there as a Rock as a one-time thing.
just as The Rock. Okay. Right, and because The Rock is playing Black Adam, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Otherwise, that's gonna be a really, really weird reference. But yeah, in which case, I guess this confirms the multiverse theory of it being Fortnite Part 2.
I hate that so much. I'm still coping and laughing at all the Dragon Ball stuff in Fortnite right now. I don't need to think about The Rock being in multiverses as well.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I'm a little bit nervous how quickly they're announcing all of this DLC because this is such a high velocity for a game that it's still not properly released, right?
This is for Season 1, yeah.
Yeah.
So Season
I
1
think it
could
will be
last...
officially released.
Yeah,
Right,
this is like the beginning of proper early access.
But even within the context of Season 1, right? Because we've had two network tests, including the one that I don't know if it's still ongoing or not. But of
No,
the
that's
network
finished.
tests, we've already had 3 characters being added as DLC.
We had early access just started, which was open to people who were in the early accesses or paid their way in. Now this is like the official free release of the game. And yeah, LeBron was part of that early access period, yeah. And then these next 4
Iron Giant, and
I wouldn't say Iron Giant was DLC because he launched as an early access character.
well, back in my day when I played Multiverses, Iron Giant was not playable, so I don't know what to tell you, Seth.
But the Battle Pass was also free then.
It was a
Everything
simpler
was
time.
free then.
Goku wasn't in Fortnite.
But yeah, no, I think announcing their plans for like this is everything that's going to be coming over to like the next 3 to 4 months is pretty fine. It gives like a good roadmap of things for people to be excited for the next couple of months.
Yeah, but I don't know how they're going to keep this velocity up, I guess is what I mean, is what I'm saying. Like this seems like a lot. Like every I think it was loosely one a month characters would get added to League of Legends, and that meant that if you didn't play for like half a year, you'd come back and there'd be 17 new champions, and all of them would be Imber in some way that heavily favored making sure you had access to the new characters and all the other stuff. So I don't know if they can make it work. Cool. It's just it seems like every week it's Multiverses has announced these people joining the roster, and it's like, all right, but by comparison, we've had four-ish rounds of DLC into Super Smash Bros. Over a couple of years, and each one of those was hype. I just feel like at the velocity we're going with this, there's less hype than perhaps there should be for Black Adam and Stripe being added, just because it's on the back of other shit already being announced,
Yeah, also, it's Black Adam and fucking Stripe from Gremlins. I don't know anyone that's going to be excited for these two characters in particular. Maybe some Black Adam fans, but the Gremlin,
What do you mean? Gremlins are sick.
Gremlins are sick, but I'm not sure. I'd never heard like people would be ecstatic about a Gremlin rep in Multiverses.
You reckon they're just doing Black Adam
For the movie tie-in?
for the movie tie-in? That was what I was looking for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. I couldn't give the slightest shit about Black Adam, but I was like, oh, sick, Gremlins. Like,
But you also hate cape shit.
yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Right.
I will say that day one I will be there for Static Shock when he gets in.
Congratulations,
going?
or sorry to hear it. Pick whichever one's relevant to you. Next up, we have contender for Game of the Year for next year. Actually, I don't know when this is coming out, but Squirrel
It's
with a
only
Gun.
on our wish list, yeah.
Yeah.
No one else did or anything.
Well, whenever it does come out, easy Game of the Year. Squirrel with a Gun. You might be thinking, okay, so what's the game called? That is the game. It's called Squirrel with a Gun.
Shocker, you play as a squirrel and you have a gun.
Yeah. It's one of those real simple, does what it says on the tin games, and I like that simplicity.
Honestly, it looks more like a platformer the more you watch the trailer.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
I will say, Goat Simulator finally has some competition for what it is the goats of video games.
Well, the squirrel of video games, but I guess we'll give you that one.
I like that he steals someone's phone.
Yeah, no.
Also, the little outfits that he can wear with like the acorn helmet thing is pretty fucking great.
The little inconspicuous part where the guy's on his phone and the squirrel just runs off to a chair, grabs a gun and mugs the guy is fantastic. Even the way it waddles with the guns is really funny.
Also, the fact that it gets cat ears. Like, what the heck?
I mean, every good video game needs to let you put cat ears on.
True.
And yeah, the platformer part, I think it's fantastic that using the gun's recoil to platform across big jumps and gaps is incredible.
I like that you just use an Uzi to like float up in the air, punch a guy in the face, and then just spray his body and then just play with his body.
Yeah.
Like 10 out of 10.
It even has sick kill animations. It is pretty in depth, giving Saints Row a run for its money on how ridiculous a game can get.
And the crazy part is, Squirrel with a Gun's been announced for Multiverses.
Can you imagine? It'd be sick.
Instant main. It'll be too OP, but no one will care.
You just imagine
Everyone
it
will be playing him,
floating
so-
slightly off the stage by just shooting constantly.
Literally,
Anyway,
he's so small that hitboxes are just like impossible to hit.
It's actually just like fucking Pichu from Smash.
You know how
Yeah.
every character has
but with
easy
a gun.
You know how every character has
Pichu with a
easy
gun.
combos against Iron Giant because he's so big? That'll just be the Squirrel against everyone.
Yeah, true. But you'd be juggling them with a gun, so it's easy for two reasons. Anyway, yeah, super excited for that. It depends on the price and when it comes out and everything else, but I have my eye on that one. I will probably end up wishlisting it on Steam.
I will pay the exact same amount I would pay for Dragon Ball The Breakers for this game.
$80.
$80, yes.
Jesus Christ. You're like pissing your money away. Just give it to me instead. You're always wanting to be paid for the podcast. You're pissing away on shit games.
No,
There,
I need the money so
I said
can...
what I said.
I need the money so I can get you a better microphone.
Yes.
Speaking of pissing away money onto shit games, I'm kidding. Or not, depending on if you like Sony games or not. But Sony is rumored to be working on its own PC game launcher based on some files found in Spider-Man, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get fucked out of 10.
Oh, tell us what you really feel.
That's my thoughts summed up.
I'm just glad that we finally have an Ubisoft Games for Windows Live Uplay hybrid crossover killer. It's been a while. They've been dominating the industry. I think if one's going to do it, Sony. Sony will be the one. Sony will be the champ.
Resident Sony simp, Seth, how is this a good thing?
Resident Sony simp.
Sorry,
Silence.
sorry, something came up. No, I'm not gonna say it's a great thing because I hate additional launches, but as long as everything is still on Steam and Epic Game Store, I couldn't give it too less of a shit about it. The positives that are coming from this though is that like rumored from 6 months ago is that if they do this launcher, then they will also have like a free integration between cross buy. So if you buy a PlayStation version of the game, then you'll own the PC version and vice versa. So that would be nice. I'm pretty sure
if I already
Microsoft
own a PC, do I get a free PlayStation?
No. I wish.
So now you can pay $125 for your PlayStation games on your PC too. Yay!
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Microsoft does the same thing with the Windows Store or the Xbox Store, whatever's on PC.
It does, except I don't think Sony has the integrity to actually do it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay,
but we're literally just the only things we know about this is there's files in Spider-Man and there's rumors from 6 months ago. I don't think there's anything that we can comment on for sure about what they will and won't do for this. It's all just speculation.
It's probably the same as the Switch Pro. Okay,
Yeah.
riddle me this, you PC gamers. What's the difference? And maybe I don't see a difference because I see it more as a hardware type of thing. What's the difference between using something like Steam versus something like Epic or the Games Windows Live or something? As long as you're playing the game, does it really
That's
matter?
what Windows Live was a piece of shit that didn't
here we
work.
go. I've opened the floodgates.
It's real simple, Steve. Let me break it down. All right, so close your eyes. Are your eyes closed?
Yep, eyes are always closed, big fella. I'm blind.
Excellent. This will make this next part way easier. So, what I need you to do is picture any game that you want to play, just any platform, any game, right? Just pick
Yep,
one.
I'm picturing it.
Yeah, cool. What is it? It's not a magic trick.
Mass Effect.
You have to tell me. Okay, Mass Effect. Cool. What platform are you playing it on?
The Xbox.
All right.
The Xbox X, to be honest.
Yeah, cool. So you boot up the Xbox and then you press the button and it launches Mass Effect, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, cool. So what if now just hear me out, right? This is the imagination time. What if when you booted Xbox and then you press the I'm assuming the A button to launch Mass Effect, would that be right?
That is correct.
What if that didn't do anything?
I checked my batteries on the controller.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. Yeah, you check the batteries. You check that. Okay, so you go and you get some fresh batteries, right? Fresh batteries, cool. And now you press A, and then it's wildly, just crazy, squirrel with a gun shows up, and breaks your hand. just imagine, right?
I'm there.
Yeah. Would this negatively impact your ability to launch Mass Effect?
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't know where you're going with this.
But you could still launch Mass Effect if you wanted to and play it, right? So like really, like what's a broken hand and some extra batteries? So now imagine that you're trying to launch basically any PC games launcher, but instead of a squirrel with a gun showing up and just like shooting your hand, they basically brick your computer and they don't even let you play the game. That's kind of like you could still play it if you didn't brick the computer, but the computer sort of bricks, so it's kind of like chicken and an egg.
It is the Games for Windows Live experience, yes.
Yeah.
No, I knew I shouldn't have said it. I knew that was like a red rag to a bull. I knew I shouldn't have said it.
I mean, the thing with the Epic Game Store is just that Epic Game Store didn't have a cut for like 2 years, while Steam does.
There's a lot of things about Epic Game Store, mate.
So
UI
it's
is
just
fucking garbage for the start.
It's just kind of hard. So like even playing Forza Horizon 5, right? That's a modern game. That's a recent game. First party support. It's a Windows game. It's a game made it's Playground Games, but I'm pretty sure Microsoft has like a heavy hand in that as well because it's one of the old console shifters. So imagine being me, right? I'm a fairly tech savvy guy, right? Working the tech biz. Really enjoy playing some Forza Horizon 5 with the boys. but every time I play it, I'm not able to connect to the internet. And you think, that's weird. Is it because you've left your Ethernet cable unplugged? And I go, no, that was just one time. It hasn't happened since. And so everything's connected. And then I realized that I need to, every time I want to play online in Forza Horizon 5 through, because it's technically part of the Microsoft store that I bought it on, I need to open up settings, go into Xbox settings, go into networking, click check Xbox networking, which will then poll my Torito connection and a few other like NAT settings and Xbox Live stuff. Fail to qualify my Torito connection. I then click fix it, wait another 30 seconds for it to say, hey, we fixed some stuff, please try again. I then click check again, and then everything works, and then I relaunch Forza Horizon 5. And I need to do that every time I launch the game. Every
Sounds like a skill
time.
issue, man. This doesn't happen on console gaming. I'm just going to say that right now.
So
It doesn't happen
my
on
biggest
Steam.
problem with it is my biggest problem with it is when you load a launcher that loads a launcher that sometimes loads another fucking launcher, and you're like,
Yeah.
fuck off. You like seriously get out of here. And it'll load up like Origin, which spins your fans up to 90%.
It's just taking up your hardware specs out of the wazoo. Like it's eating all your hardware more than Google Chrome does.
Yeah.
And why? So Sony
it's
can make
not-
more profits on their already ridiculously huge amount of profit games. Like, seriously? Nah, I don't give a shit, bro. Maybe if it's a decent launcher and there are benefits to it, then maybe I will consider downloading it. Until then,
I
no,
don't even
fuck
care
off.
if it's a decent launcher. All I want is that if I launch the game, it doesn't ask me to log in every single time, which is what Epic Games does. It
Mhm.
doesn't try to spin my fans up to 100%, which is what Origin does. It doesn't make me want to uninstall it on launch, which is what Games Windows Live does. And it doesn't try to sell me ads for a game that I'm not currently playing, which is what Uplay does. If it just
Yep.
doesn't do that, I'm on board. I am so sick of this marketplace to begin with. They just have to not fuck it up, and they have my money.
And literally, I just do not give a shit as long as they continue to put games on Steam and Epic like they already do. They
but
can
they
have
won't.
their launcher
See,
and have
but
it
no-
fail or succeed, whatever. As long as
See,
it's
notice-
as long as it's on the
notice
other
how-
marketplaces as well, then it's
They
completely
won't.
fine.
Yeah, notice how you said, like, as long as it's on Steam and Epic. Are we finally at that point of view where we're...
I mean, I don't want people... People use the Epic Game Store. Sony releases their games on there as well. I don't want to take it away from them.
I do.
I do. Yeah.
I'll say it.
What I would like is something like GOG, where it's just DRM free and I can just load the fucking game. That'd be nice. You know, especially for single player games with no online mechanic. What? Why? I bought the game. I have a license. Check it in with the server and then fuck it right off. I don't need the fucking launcher.
If you PC gamers didn't always pirate games, and maybe we could have nice things.
Yes, right. I'm sure. That's why piracy went down hugely when Steam went in place, because it worked. And now there's a million different launches, and people are starting to pirate again. I don't know, man.
Well,
Or it becomes the streaming service thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not even the streaming
Yeah.
service thing. It's Epic Games going, why don't we spend a lot of money to make sure that it's exclusive to Epic Games? And everyone goes, so we're pirating
I don't
it.
want that. Yeah, basically. I think the only exception I ever made to that was Borderlands 3, and it was a Twitch simulator, and I was like, well, that was not worth any money. So
Twitch simulator. What does that even mean?
the entire game story
Made on
was
Twitch.
based on Twitch. Yeah.
How
Yeah,
good.
the main villain was an e-girl.
Yeah, literally live streams to you while you're playing the game, and you're like, please leave me alone.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, can't wait to play Forspoken, how excellent that game looks for $125 on a launcher that probably mines crypto.
I mean,
Thanks,
that's you're saying that, but that's a Square Enix game. Square
Still
Enix
a
is the one.
Sony exclusive one, isn't it?
PS5
exclusive, I
PS5 and
believe.
PC.
Oh,
They're putting
coming
it
to
on.
Sony's shitty launcher.
They've already put it on Steam for 115.
Get fucked. That's so much money for such a shit game.
There
They should
was-
learn their lesson from Babylon's Fall.
there was a great one where I was watching a mate, like I was at a mate's place a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, "Oh, let's just launch." It wasn't even Jackbox; it was like a specific. I think it was Drawful that he had separate to Jackbox.
Ah, Drawful
Oh
is
yeah,
such
they
a good
put
game.
Drawful like for free by itself for a little while.
Yeah, on Epic, and so he goes to launch it. Well, no, we tried to launch it on Epic. I don't know. We tried to launch Epic for some reason. It was either 4 Drawful or 4 Jackbox, but we launch Epic. He has to download a client update. Okay, that's fine. Downloads a client update. Sitting here, it's now been 5 minutes. That's fine. Client's installing. Cool. So only 5 minutes. We'll be playing Drawful for a bit. Not a big deal. We then try and launch Epic Games. Okay, has to log in. He has 2 accounts, which, okay, that's his bad. Yep, fair enough. That's his bad. Has to figure out which password it is. Fine. He then finally finds the right password, logs in. We've now wasted 7 minutes before playing the game. Again, some of that's his fault. That's fine. Got a client update, all that stuff. All of the language is now in Romanian. Just the whole client app itself is in Romanian, and
That's
we go,
fine.
okay, that's that shouldn't happen. And then he Googles help. My Epic Games launch was in Romanian, and there's a lot of hits that say, yes, this is a common occurrence. click on the icon that looks like this to open settings, and this number down the list to get to the language, and then this checkbox to bring the language menu. And of course, it's changed since then because of the update that he just downloaded. So he's stuck with a Romanian client, and so then he goes to the help menu, and the help menu takes him to a Chrome page which launches in English, and he checks his account settings, and account settings are English. And I don't know. This is what I mean. Like, all you have to do is just not fuck up a launcher this badly, and I'm fine with it. But it's almost like at every moment they go, well, we can't make it a pleasurable experience. We have to make people hate themselves every time they try and launch a game. So I can't wait to see Sony's take on this, whether they try and open the bloody Xbox networking thing every time they want to launch the app or something weird. There has to be something, right? Like, it can't go as smoothly as Steam, or else people would be on board with it. So they just have to find their own little niche of how to fuck up the gaming experience on PC like everyone else does.
It
I
just
regret asking my
loads up the
question.
PS3
Always-
cross-media bar.
I was about to make a joke about it. It makes you play it with a PS3 controller, which is the fucking worst controller that's ever released. But yeah,
Sony
N64
Launcher.
controller, that's close.
Sony Launcher doesn't let you download any games. It's entirely streaming.
I soft disagree, Josh, only because I've never had a problem with the D-pad, unlike the Nintendo Switch Pro 1.
Switch isn't a real console.
I'm telling you, boys, once the Switch comes out, we'll see who's laughing.
Forgot about the Switch thing. 10 out of 10. All right, then we move on to the last story now. I'm tired of being angry.
Yeah.
It's some news for you.
This is a terrible story not to be angry on.
Yeah, well, speaking of Switch news, and things that you want to laugh at but then cry on the inside, we'll field the old headline arena first. Nintendo of America's testers say they faced years of sexual harassment. Really, that's basically all you need to know about the article. But
So have you heard about the Pokemon Vaporeon?
Exactly, yeah. But naturally, we're going to expand on this to just touch on a few of the points that, all right, I don't know about you, but I work in a company where there's about 200 to 300 people in the office. And there are some people that you like and you get on with, and some people that you don't like and don't get along with. But
I haven't found those people yet. I hope I never do.
Sure, but like...
You're that person.
Oh, God!
But, there might be some disagreements at work. Everyone has those. It's fine. I'm still yet to just be around any kind of employee that is just the kind of definitional shitbag which constantly exists in the gaming industry. And on one hand, yes, I'm very grateful that I do not have to deal with any of this bullshit. On the other hand, I almost refuse to believe that people like this are real. Because it's so outlandishly different from just how I experience work day to day that I almost can't comprehend people making decisions to just wake up and choose being a shitbag today.
I can't, yeah.
The way this article opens up is they just don't think. Okay, I mentioned the Vaporeon thing because being on the internet as long as we have.
Wait, Seb, I got one better. Did you know that in terms of Pokemon Vaporeon, and if a chill went down your spine just from that, you know exactly what we're talking about. If a chill didn't, and you go, please tell me more Vaporeon facts. No. This isn't that kind of story.
Get out while you still can.
Exactly.
But yeah, us being on the internet as long as we have, and knowing that Vaporeon copy pasta, we get a laugh out of it. We make jokes about it. But no, we understand it. There's like in work, there's a sort of professionalism you're meant to have, and not post something like that in an open work environment chat. But
Not even that. Like, I wouldn't go further than the initial sentence of meme for most of the time. You know.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? It's like that's why I almost refuse to believe that it's not real, because you have there's like a hierarchy of what's acceptable, right? We all know the copy pasta, but none of us.
No one makes a reference to it in work.
Well, so not even that. No, what? Like we're all good friends here, right? We're all in a group chat. No one has sent that copy pasta to anyone else in this group chat, right? I think I'm correct in saying that, right?
Yeah, no,
we just make a reference to it.
Exactly.
We'll just be like we'll just say like Vaporeon and then 3 dots or the first couple of words. Like we all know it off by heart. It's very close to our hearts.
Because at least from my case, the comedy comes from the reference of the material, not the material itself.
Yeah.
And so that's amongst friends. Let's go one step further. Now there's people that aren't just friends but colleagues. Now I not only would never post the copy pasta, I would probably not even make a reference to the copy pasta. So to have this guy just walk in and go, here's the copy pasta for all the colleagues to see. Oh my god. I refuse to believe that you are real.
Area, no less. Not even like casually mentioning it, but posting it for like the entire company to see, going, this is a good idea to have digital evidence of.
And then the one they do right after that is even worse.
Yeah, which is impressive.
So talking about Paimon, and I'll leave it there.
Yeah, well, Paimon, if you're not familiar from Genshin Impact, is a very small childlike object, and that's all you need to know.
A lolly, if you
but
will.
I honestly can't. What goes through a person's mind?
Yeah, exactly.
To be like, you know what? This is going in the work chat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the thing, right? Well, I guess that's almost the case of this headline, right? If someone sent this headline into the group chat and said, hey, someone posted the Vaporeon copy pasta at work, I would laugh because I'd think that's such an outlandishly fucking stupid thing to do. No one in their right mind would do that. Therefore, it's funny by how absurd it is. And then you go, oh no, they did that. Oh no, they willingly made the choice to do that. This is horrific.
Yeah.
And then the article continues into the things that you see all over the place, like the wage gap problems, general contractor problems, and contractors far outweighing like full-time employment at Nintendo with no chance to ever climb the ladders. And then you get into the fun stuff like blatant homophobia.
Yes.
I don't get it. I'm in a very privileged position to have never had to see it in a workplace. I totally accept that, but I cannot fathom that this type of shit just continues and that it's regular as well. Like
it's week on week.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, imagine being this guy, right? This guy, let's assume, right? Let's give him benefit of the doubt that he's not a complete fucking moron at his job. He just
thought, haha, funny Nintendo joke.
No. Outside of that, outside of all of that, right? Let's just take a step back from all of that. If I saw that there was an uptick in people being a shitbag at work to women, I would think, there's a lot of people being shitbags to women at work these days. I should be more aware of people being shitbags to women.
Especially in the industry that I work in.
Exactly. It's almost even crazier that people in the industry go, man, there's a lot of news about people being shitbags to women right now. Anyway, let's just copy paste this Vaporeon meme.
It has to be some sort of weird. No one else is calling them out on it. Like it's a constant thing within. Well, we're calling them out on it right now. You're on notice.
My bet's on room digit IQ. I don't know. Room warmth IQ.
Room digit IQ.
I'm the room temperature IQ.
No,
it's probably one of those.
Yeah,
it's probably one of those things where it becomes such a boys' club that you become so unaware that someone may not feel comfortable with this, or if someone doesn't feel comfortable with it, they don't say anything. So everyone's like, no one's saying anything. Of course, this stuff is all funny, and I find it funny. Therefore, everybody else finds it funny. There's just a lot of people without very good social skills.
I know that
Yeah.
every week that someone gets pulled out for how they talk to women, but that can't be me. Some of my best friends are women. Anyway, here's a Vaporeon copy pasta.
I can't be sexist. I have a girlfriend.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have a Wi-Fi beat.
Yeah, my mother is a
Oh
woman.
my god. Yeah, I'm getting too worked up about this to want to continue talking about it, but it's just frustrating because it's literally the most avoidable situation like in the industry. Just don't be shitty to women. It's
And if you can't avoid that, just shut the fuck up.
Just
Literally do nothing.
Just don't be shitty.
That's the thing. It's just like the best thing you can do is just not be shitty to women. The second best thing is to just not do anything, and you still picked the worst option.
It's wild, honestly.
Oh, anyway. I'm done. Any more comments from you guys? I'm done talking about this.
I can't wait until next week when we find out the next game company. Like it's happening everywhere.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like,
say
it's
at
good
least
that
it's an Activision Blizzard for
I was about
this
to
week.
say my money next week is on
Yeah.
Activision.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Like-
Activision Blizzard, for the participation award of they actually took our advice and didn't do anything rather than actively choosing the shittiest option.
Bobby Kotick seeing
Bit
this
too
news
quiet.
article like, yes, it's my turn next week.
Look, as much as it's a shit thing to think about, but it's good that all these stories are coming out.
Oh yeah, no.
Because
You
it's-
want these to come out
it's-
so that it stops the cycle from continuing.
Yeah, you want it because I work in a very I want to say well-adjusted, like a normal workplace where this kind of. So I don't think this kind of stuff goes on. And if
you work in an industry where people treat each other like humans? That's crazy.
I know, shock.
That's crazy, bro.
Shock. You're not gonna lie. Yeah, like I feel valued and I don't hate my job. So that's it. That's kind of cringe. But it seems like one of those things that the more it comes out, the more that people speak about it, the more that the general public knows what's going on. We can put pressure on different game studios and get them to do better.
Actually, you know what?
Unionize.
You're right. Who the fuck wanted to buy Kirby? Who was it?
Wasn't me. Couldn't have been me.
You can hear them shriveling up into a little ball in the background.
They're nice, Josh.
Keep it up and you're off the podcast.
That game.
Is
That
this
game
Kirby
might have.
game Nintendo of America? I don't know.
That game might have been tested by this sick fuck. You don't know.
If I
you roll
open
too
the
hard, you
Kirby
might get
game
a
and there's a
fucking
fucking
Vaporeon Easter
Vaporeon in
egg,
it. Yeah, no.
Anyway, yeah, I actually done now. So, yeah, final words from anyone else. Otherwise, moving on.
See you next week.
Yeah,
see you next week.
This shit
It's also tiring.
this shit needs to stop. But
Yeah.
also, the more it comes out, the better it is for everyone.
Yep. Okay. Well, that is the news done for this week. And of course, we didn't get an audience question last week. So, audience question for this week. Jackson writes in asking, what series would you most like to see rebooted? Which I guess is quite timely given that we just talked about Alone in the Dark getting the old reboot.
And Saints Row reboot is coming out in a week.
A week? Yeah, that's right. It's coming up soon.
Yeah, next
shoot.
Tuesday.
Oh.
I'm not going to say that I'm rebooted out. I think. Oh no, I got it. I guess I think I need to make a distinction between rebooting and remastering because
Yes, I was going to say the same thing, my friend.
yeah,
Rebooting is making something new. Remastering
No,
is taking the old one and polishing it up.
thank
No,
you,
so
Seth.
rebooting is when you open up your Windows tab and you press the restart button. Remastering is when you're replying to an email with a subject line is master. Because
Rebooting is the job of a good cobbler.
like a peach cobbler.
No,
That's it. We're done. Pack her up, fellas. We got to episode 37. Whenever we peaked. Pack her up, fellas. That was so fucking funny. There I am rambling on, and Josh is like, "Nah, fuck you, Steve. I got a funny one."
Thought
love
of that
it.
joke a while ago and thought that was too shit to say. I'm just going to sit on that one, and that's the one that killed Steve. All right, fine. Yeah, reason for the distinction in my head is that I can't think of anything that I want rebooted. I can think of stuff that I want remastered, and I want specifically Motorstorm Pacific Rim remastered. Rift. Yeah, Rim's the movie. Pacific Rift. I want Pacific Rift remastered, and I want Burnout 3 and 4 remastered.
I was going to say that.
Fuck it. I want the Burnout series rebooted. I'll say it.
Yeah, Burnout getting a reboot would be great. Like
Burnout
taking back to
Paradise was
basics.
sick.
You know what? I want both.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. In a spiritual sense, they did get rebooted as the Danger Zone series, but that
Danger. Did they? I've never even heard of that. Danger Zone.
Danger
Hang
Zone.
on, I'm just googling it.
Danger Zone 2
Oops, and it's just giving me fucking Top Gun. Fuck you. What did I fucking expect?
Yeah, Danger Zone 2 had more... So Danger Zone 1 was basically a crash junction simulator, like the good old days of Burnout 3, Burnout 4. And that was quite fun. And then Danger Zone 2 had some racing elements as well. It has problems. It does have problems, but I can see what they're trying to get to, and I hope that they keep iterating on it and improving it, because it's the same... So it's this... a lot of the core talent behind the Danger Zone team are the people that were in teams that worked on Burnout. I don't remember what company they are now that's producing Danger Zone, but I hope they're doing
Three Fields.
Oh, what was that?
It's Three Fields, I think.
Oh shit, it was Three Fields. Okay, I was just thinking that was something else.
Just
Yeah.
according to the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, no,
I just pulled
it's
up on Steam.
definitely Three Fields. Definitely Three Fields. Yeah, I hope they're doing a third one, because I like the improvements they made from 1 to 2, and I want to see it continue to improve, but it's still not... I mean, I don't think it would... Yeah, they just don't have the people or the budget to get close to Burnout levels, but, you know...
Wasn't
towards
there...
it.
Isn't Wreckfest type of in the same vein?
No.
Isn't
So
Wreckfest
I've
more
played,
of like
I've played Wreckfest.
Twisted Metal?
Yeah, Wreckfest is much closer to Twisted Metal.
Okay.
It's fun. It is fun. It's very, like, it's basically a destruction derby, but it's missing a lot of the pieces that made Burnout great. Like, you can slam into other cars and stuff, but there's no takedown mechanic. It's much more of a focus on, like, racing and damage than, like, big destruction and set pieces.
Oh, okay. Rats. Yeah, that was the best part about the Burnout series, when you're doing those big crashes.
Yeah, and like the aftertouch takedowns and having to get like a triple aftertouch
so
takedown
good.
to get the trophy. What a time.
I think, actually, I would have said the Knights of the Old Republic series, but that's already been rebooted. And well, it's in development hell, so we'll get that in like 2030. For the Xbox Series X with yourself, I don't know.
Xbox Peg.
Ooh. The Xbox prostate. I want the Jade Empire series. It could either go remastered, but a reboot wouldn't go astray either.
Actually, I got one more for the reboot train. Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh yeah.
Just because Kiwi YouTuber Rubes is remastered. Well, I guess he's technically doing a remaster, but he's one man banding, or I guess two or three man banding, because he's getting some help from other people. Remastering Hit and Run in Unreal Engine, and it's a Super 6 series. You can look it up on YouTube. He's up to episode 4 or 5, I think, and it's really cool watching him recreate something that was built almost 20 years ago. I think. No, actually, it has been 20 years.
How do you spell that name? I'm going to add it to my things of this.
REUBS Hit and Run.
REUBS.
Or you can
For
also
the
look
record,
up.
not being publicly released.
No. So he isn't releasing this, but it's entirely just like it's basically like a what if, but he quite rightly doesn't want to get taken to the cleaners for Simpsons IP, which fair enough.
It is owned by
but-
Disney.
There's a
Yes, they
lot of
will
money to
absolutely
lose.
kill him.
Yeah, but yeah, there was a video of him building the first mission in Unreal quite a while ago now. I'm not sure about a year, but certainly about 6 or so months ago, that did so well on YouTube that it convinced him that he should turn it into more of a series. That's what he's been doing.
Yeah,
super
yeah.
interesting.
So it turns out, that was like how he remade Simpsons Hit and Run in a week. They got like 7 million views.
Yeah.
And it looks like that's about a year ago, and he sort of is redoing it. Yeah, man, that would actually be a sick game. And like there was like the Simpsons Road Rage as well. Did you know Gaming
that's
did
right. The Crazy Taxi
did a
one.
video on that? Yeah,
That was a good game.
That was a very good game.
Anyway,
shout out to Did You Know Gaming? Good stuff.
I've spoken way too long about this, so Josh and Saif, your picks.
I have two. I
Pick
don't
one.
want a. I don't. No. I don't want a. I don't want a
Tried.
full reboot. I want like the story to continue, but like a gameplay reboot to modernize it for the Jack and Daxter series. Continue on from where like Jack 3 or Jack X left off. Ignore the PSP game, The Lost Frontier. That never happened. We'll never mention it on this podcast again. Any mention of it will get deleted and sent to the void. But yeah, continue on the Jack and Daxter series. Keep the characters and the story going. But yeah, just modernize the gameplay for what the standard is for what's expected now. And another one is because it's trending at the moment. I'd like to see Spyro come back and reboot it back into a collectathon instead of the Skylanders games. This is
It did come back recently. It got remade by, what was it, Toys for Bob?
Yep. That is why it's trending at the moment, because Toys for Bob put up a tweet where they posted 18 plaques. 17 of them are shown. It's all their games, covers, and a disc on a wall. And the 18th one is blurred out. So hopefully a Spyro 4 is in development from them. But yeah, no. The remaster happened, yes, but do a reboot, like bring back Spyro 4, like they did for Crash 4. Like after such a long time of nothing or Skylanders happening, give us what we want.
Also like Sly 4.
And Sly 4, yeah.
So that was also quite a while, I guess.
Sly 4 the Sky Dragon?
But sure, Sly for the executive producer, actually. But reasonable distance after Sly 3. Josh, what about you?
I have a couple of answers. I won't choose one. Fuck off, Patrick.
I'll force you to choose one.
Ooh.
Hurtful.
Legacy of Goku, I think, would be a great remaster.
They did. That's Dragon Ball Kakarot.
No, it's not.
No.
Dragon Ball
I mean,
Z
that's not a
Breakers
remaster. That'd
one.
be a reboot, and still fuck no. So I would like to see that remastered. I would like. I was thinking about this earlier, but I can't decide if I'd prefer a remaster or a remake of some of the early Monster Hunter games. I think a remake would be very good, but also I'd still want them to work on World 2. So I'm torn.
I mean,
I feel like a remake wouldn't do it justice because they'd have to change too much to be good, like to be true to the original series.
At that point, you might as well make a new game and implement the maps from the older ones or something.
Yeah, I don't want the map. I want the stories and the stuff like that. So,
well, that's kind of Generations Ultimate. Like Generations Ultimate was the kind of siren song of that style of Monster Hunter game.
So yeah, I think anyway, I think that would be good, but I would rather World 2. So
Fair enough.
And the other game that I want remade is Sanctum 2 specifically.
Ooh. Yeah, that's Coffee Stain, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Coffee Stain. But basically,
Only thing I know.
yeah, I think same actually, to be honest. But it's a pretty semi-popular game. It's basically a tower defense game, but it's an FPS, and you build the levels as you go. So you start and you get X amount of blocks to build a pathway, and then as you go up and clear waves, you get more blocks and get money to place down turrets and stuff like that. But it's still an FPS, so you can still run around and like kill things, and you can save up money if you can kill enough with guns. But the guns aren't particularly powerful, so it was a really fun game to play with friends.
Array of violators at the back line.
Yeah, the violators were the best thing in the entire game. They were so good. But yeah, that was a really, really, really fun game. I wish there was more. What I would love to see is a custom map, like Halo Forge style for that game. That'd be so much fun. So much fun. So that's something I'd really like to see.
I have one more I'm going to throw on the list very quickly.
Is it Fable?
No. Reboot
They're
Prince
doing that.
I know.
Skyrim.
Reboot Prince of Persia. I know they're doing the remake of Sands of Time, but something fresh from Prince of Persia would also be nice.
I mean, you say they're doing the remake. Isn't that the one that is
the one that's in
basically
development
cancelled?
hell and
They're
never coming out? Yes.
Yeah, the one that's
Is
cancelled.
the Prince of
they just haven't
Persia in the room
confirmed
with
it
us
yet.
now?
No, and that's the problem. I want the Prince of Persia to be in the room with us right now, Stephen. But yeah, no.
Maybe in your room.
Either do a Prince of Persia reboot or do something similar to Prince of Persia, but for like the other Arabian Nights stories, because those don't get covered enough in video games or media in general.
Special mention to System Shock remake that's coming out. That looks fucking excellent.
Yeah,
I was keen for that.
That
So-
does look really good.
Yeah, hype for that.
Sweet. Well, I think that hopefully answers your question, Jackson. If you or someone you know has a question you'd like us to once get in touch, we're on Facebook at Fast Travel Lounge, Twitter at Fast Travel Lounge -1 of the L's, and on good old Gmail mailbag, fasttravellounge@gmail.com. Please give us a like on your favorite podcast platform and a review or comment if you can. All interactions help boost our voices within the algorithm and bring us one step closer to being the preferred gaming and pop culture news podcast sponsored by Ford Truck Month and Krispy Kreme.
God damn it.
I'd maybe get a Ford Krispy Kreme crossover event.
Oh, what if it was
Yeah,
just...
Oh
Fortnite.
man, imagine
What
a Krispy Kreme donut with like the Ford logo on as the icing.
You guys are
You
I was
guys
thinking
going to
too
say
guys-
like
low.
it's a
guys need to
Krispy Kreme
think
donut,
bigger.
but it's a wheel.
Yeah, right. Just
No,
give me
no,
an
it's-
F-150 full of Krispy Kremes on the U tray.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Josh,
boy.
Josh is living in 2022. Anyway, with that, we come to the end of episode 37. Any teasers that anyone wants to allude at? I guess I'll start. Cult of the Lamb is waiting for me when I get back to Auckland. Super excited to play that. Not sure I'll have a huge amount of time before next episode, but that is the goal. Anyone else?
I've been going back to streaming Monarch. That's something I've been meaning to do for a while, and I also
Monarch. Sorry, I don't know what that game is. I'm googling it.
that is a Persona style game, but a bit more like strategy RPG.
Persona.
It's made by ex Persona developers from Persona 2 days. It's got a bit of like a Persona-ish element to it, but it's also kind of Fire Emblem
Hey,
as well.
it's $67. Jesus.
I
Dollar
got
reviews.
Fucking hell, mate.
I got it as a present. I promised to stream it. I streamed the first chapter way ages ago, like 4 months ago, and then things caught up with me, and I had to do other things. So I'm getting back to that. I just streamed the second chapter the other day. I'm going to be getting back to doing more of it. And also, while we were recording, I bought Rollerdrome, and I plan to check that out.
And if people wanted to watch you stream it, other than in Discord, where would they find you?
Twitch.tv/Kai_Burr.
You want to spell that, big fella?
CAI_BEHR.
Not KAIBA.
No, it's definitely not triple K.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, I fucking reckon. The fucking Bobby Kotick comment there.
So
I
in terms
guess-
of human and Pokemon compatibility,
no.
Bobby
I guess,
Kotick has zero appeal.
I'll either be playing Outer Wilds, maybe the Spider-Man game if I can get over the fact that it's a Marvel game. Otherwise, Death End
fuck,
Request
man?
was interesting
I
me.
keep telling you, it's good.
Yeah, I don't know. Death End Request was interesting me. Otherwise, I might start Ghost of Tsushima or Yakuza Like a Dragon.
ooh, Yakuza. Fuck, I need to go back and
Yakuza
play
7 is actually something I've been meaning to get to for a long while, but I want to play every other Yakuza game first. Oh, fuck me, that's a long series.
Yeah,
That's like a 600-hour
yeah,
commitment.
I played 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, so I only need 5, 6, and 7.
I've played 0, 3, and 4.
God.
Honestly,
Why the
7
fuck
looks like
would
the
we-
best one for me.
I-
Turn-based combat, baby.
You would like, it is turn-based.
Yeah, it's like Dragon's Quest based on too, so like, oh man, I'd be so keen.
They
Yeah,
literally
you
got
probably
permission
like
from
it.
Square Enix to use the Dragon Quest IP in it instead of just like fudging around it and pretending Dragon Quest, but never actually mentioning it by name. So
Honestly,
that's,
a 10 out of 10.
that's another plus. Because they've done, I remember in Yakuza 0, they had a side quest that was based on like the Dragon Quest 3 release and how insane
That
Japan
was
got over
hilarious.
it. Yeah, but they didn't have the Dragon Quest license to actually say it by name, so they had to.
They called it like
budget.
Hero Quest or something like that.
Yeah, Hero Adventure or something.
Something like that, yeah.
But it also was such a good fucking quest.
It's an excellent quest.
But yeah, I'm glad that they've gone to a point where they can just be like, yeah, no, our main character fucking loves Dragon Quest. He's such a loser for Dragon Quest. He sees everything as a Dragon Quest battle.
Fucking loser.
Well, yeah, people can look forward to listening to all about that, plus whatever else we feel like talking about next week. So until then, this has been episode 37. I've been Patrick. I've been joined by Saif, Steve, and Josh, and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
Happy birthday, Miss Piggy.